put the controller down. It's time to talk about the gaming industry. My name is TJ Leo.
And I'm Andrew, still here without anything funny to say during my introduction. It's been a while since I got one, but
that's okay. That's okay. Yeah. It can't be every week.
No.
You gotta space it out. You know? Yep. This is episode 51 of Press Pause, a gaming podcast. How are you, my friend?
It is hot and muggy, and I am not happy about that, but at least I have air conditioning.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. We did get one day of reprieve. I think it was yesterday. It was kind of okay.
Yeah.
But it got warm towards the end of the day, which is weird.
Mm-hmm.
We were supposed to get a big thunderstorm, and we just never did. I don't know what happened to that.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Maybe we're supposed to still get it. I don't know. But it looks clear as day out there right now, so don't think that's coming. Oh, did you notice that I got rid of I changed the logo in the background?
I did.
Yeah. Yeah, it was bugging me for whatever reason, and then it took me like 2 hours to figure out why the cloud the cloud imaging wasn't syncing properly. It kept saying it hasn't synced since 2019, and I'm like, well, that's definitely not true. Because this podcast is not 6 years old.
No.
But I eventually got it, so now I've got the logo of each show will now be in the background, which is pretty cool.
Excellent.
Yeah, pretty nifty. I've been thinking of taking advantage of the other TV, but I don't know. It might be too far away to even make out what's on that TV. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it wouldn't be. I don't think it'd be super legible. I mean, obviously, right now I've got. Well, obviously to me and you, not to the audience. I have a much smaller preview window than what will end up in the final video. But just knowing how that TV looks in the final video,
Yeah. It's also at a weird angle, so it's not.
Yeah.
It's not quite as front facing as the one behind me, or the one right behind me, I should say. All right, let's get into some housekeeping and corrections. As always, we are on YouTube and YouTube Music. You can get the audio-only edition on YouTube Music or the video edition on YouTube Music, so check that out. Don't forget to join the Co-op Club Discord community server, where a bunch of us are talking about games, talking about wrestling, talking about just about everything. World events, as it were. And I do have a correction this week. It's not technically a correction because I never actually finished my statement. But if you remember, we were talking about FBC Firebreak, and I had referenced that it feels a lot like Left 4 Dead, which got us on the topic of Turtle Rock Studios. And Back 4 Blood and Evolve and all that kind of stuff. And I had mentioned I wonder if Turtle Rock Studios is going to be in trouble since they're a Warner Brothers studio. As it turns out, they are not a Warner Brothers studio. I just thought they were, but no, they published Evolve. Or they either published Evolve or they published Back 4 Blood. I think it may have been Back 4 Blood now that my brain is ticking along there. But Turtle Rock is not owned by Warner Brothers. They're owned by Tencent.
Well, that is slightly more job security at the moment.
Yeah. So so no real relation there. That I thought I made an error, but that's the only correction I have from last week, as far as I'm aware. I'm sure we make far more mistakes than we realize, and people are just too nice to point them out, or we just don't have enough people to point them out.
I was going to say, or we don't have enough people watching.
Yeah, our shorts are doing really well.
Yeah,
though.
I saw that you had one that broke 1,000.
Yeah, our one of our wrestling ones and one of our press pause ones, so almost hit 1,000. So I don't know what's going on there.
And then there's ones that have like 10 views.
Yeah, and then there's some that have like 200. It's kind of all over the place. So I don't know.
The algorithm is mysterious, and nobody fucking knows how it works.
I think I've figured out publishing times matter for some reason. So I for some reason publishing it at like noon Eastern and like 7 p.m. Eastern are like the perfect times to upload. I don't know whether that's because people get off work and then they have dinner and then they chill and that's when they go on YouTube. And then for the noon one, I'm guessing it's just a lot of people go on their phones and go on YouTube during lunch break, maybe.
I guess.
But that seems to be like the pocket, as it were. So yeah, we'll continue to do shorts every week. I'll basically the goal right now is to have either a full episode or a short uploaded every day. That's kind of my goal right now. So, and we have a lot of content that I can pull shorts from, so it's cool. Courtesy of Riverside. Thank you, Riverside. You guys are awesome. All right. Andrew, yes. What are you playing?
Yes. I have been playing something. Two things, actually. I have been playing Ashes 2063 and its sequel, Ashes Afterglow. These are mods for Doom 2. I say that loosely because they don't really work with classic Doom 2. They're for Jeezy Doom. You still need the Doom 2 WAD file. This is kind of into the weeds for anybody who doesn't know a lot about classic Doom. We'll just say it's a Doom 2 mod. It's a total conversion, and it makes it into a completely new game.
That's cool.
And yeah, it is very cool. And so I played Ashes 2063. It's not too long. It's like 10 levels long.
Mm-hmm.
But they're decently sized levels, and I had a good time with it. It's this post-apocalyptic first-person shooter, which I know sounds kind of like Stalker. I would liken it a little bit more to Metro, especially since one of the last holdouts of humanity in the city is Atlanta, by the way, is in the subway station.
Funny you say that. I'm giving Metro Exodus a second shot.
Oh, okay.
At the moment, so not talking about it today, but
yeah. But anyway, pardon me. So I played 2063. It was really good. And then I moved on to Afterglow, and I'm not as enthused about it. So 2063, this is another thing that it has in common with Metro. 2063 is a fairly linear game. There is a clear progression from level to level to level. And there is a town, but it's not really a thing that you come back to repeatedly. Afterglow is more like an open world game, which is what Metro Exodus is like for the most part. There is some more linear stuff in Exodus, but it's mostly about the open world stuff. And that's a difficult thing to do in this engine, because while it doesn't have all the limitations of Doom, it's still pretty Doomish. And
Doomish.
Trying to build an open world with this, kind of setup, you have to be really careful about your level design. Otherwise, it just becomes really confusing, and the map doesn't really help that much because the map is just top down. So if you have,
as you can see, there's multiple levels just from the screenshot alone.
Yeah,
there's a staircase there.
Yeah. So, and when you have multiple floors within, an area, when there's a lot of verticality in the map, and there is a lot of that in certain parts of this game, it basically becomes worthless. Like it's really hard to find your way around. And I've kind of given up on Afterglow because I can't figure out where the fuck I'm supposed to go or what I'm supposed to do. And it doesn't really help that the journal in game also seems like it's kind of messed up, because the text overlaps, multiple lines of text kind of overlap. So it's difficult to even read what I'm supposed to do.
Is it possible that they gave up on Afterglow? They didn't finish it completely?
No, it's finished. Wow. It's a finished thing. It's very well regarded. Huh. But I just can't figure out where I'm going or what I'm doing, which is unfortunate because I was really enjoying it. I really enjoy the weapons in that game. It's not really like Doom, in which you have a bunch of great big weapons, at the lower end of your arsenal, where it's you've got the rocket launcher and the plasma gun and the BFG. The closest thing you have to a super weapon is a flamethrower that isn't really that great. The shots that it fires, it has two fire modes. It has the glob of fire and then the stream of fire. And the stream of fire is effective, but it's very short range, and the glob is kind of hard to aim, and it doesn't seem to actually hit that hard or have a very big explosion radius. So I barely even use the thing, honestly. It's really more about your pistols and your shotgun. That's kind of the bulk of where this is. I don't even know what this weapon on screen is. This is something clearly from later on in the game.
Yeah, it looks like a crossbow shotgun mix of some kind.
Yeah, weird. I haven't even seen that. It's more smaller scale. You fight, you fight human raiders, you fight humanoid mutants, you fight quadruped mutant like dog things, and that's most of the game. It's more about getting around, and just sort of exploring the game world with combat mixed in. And I felt like they had a good balance of that when it was more linear, but trying to expand the exploration to this, massive game world. It's really hard to do. It's not that I haven't seen it done well. Head On, which is another game that uses GZ Doom, and also is a 2-part game. The first part is linear and the second part is open world. That actually does it really well. But the levels are generally flatter and laid out more like a traditional Doom level, such as they are. Whereas this, like as you observed, has verticality to it it's just difficult to parse when you're using the in-game map, and it makes things confusing. And
I've definitely played my fair share of games that have a bad map. It's understandable.
I really don't want to trash this, because I did enjoy the first one, and it's made by 2 people, and it's free.
Yeah.
So it's not like I wasted any money on it. I'm just disappointed that it's not as good as I want it to be. At
least you enjoyed the first one.
Yeah, I enjoyed the first one. It was really good. And I respect what they're attempting to do. It's kind of a ballsy move to try and make an open world, or an open-ish world, in what is, for all intents and purposes, the Doom engine. Mm-hmm. But it's also a really difficult thing to do, and I don't feel like they've quite succeeded here.
Bummer.
There's probably ways that they could address it, but it's maybe not within the scope of their vision. More signposting, where to go, maybe far be it from me to say we should put in objective markers, because we know what happens when you put objective markers in a game. It goes way too far, because it's if we put one here, we should put one there. If we put one there, we should put one here. And then everything, it's there's no more mystery, there's no more exploration in your exploration game.
And then you get yellow paint.
Yeah, and then listen. Are we gonna go into the yellow paint discussion?
We will one day. It's gonna be a thing.
Okay.
It should be a topic of the week, yellow paint.
I don't know if we got enough to say about it to make it an entire topic, but I will tell you, I am absolutely 100% on team fucking yellow paint, man. Okay?
We should have a topic of the week on it then. It should be fun.
If the alternative is this, I don't mind the yellow paint. But what I'm saying is there are better ways. Yeah.
Yeah. But modern gaming has brought us some niceties, some accessibility, quality of life stuff. That
you know what game does it really well? Doom 2016. Lots of lights on things. The way you're supposed to go, the lights will be green. Still same kind of light. They'll just be green instead of red. It's very subtle. You may not even notice it at first. I didn't realize it at first, and then I said, "Hey, wait a minute. That's light's cool. Green. It kind of looks like I could jump over it." Oh,
green means go.
I see what you're doing, Id. I think it took me about 3 levels before I figured that out. But I was like, "Oh,
there's some really cool I love visual level design." Mm-hmm. Just the idea of being able to focus the player's attention and catch their eye without them kind of realizing it.
Yeah, without it having to be like a UI element. It's just something in the environment.
Or just something obvious, where it's obviously I have to go that way. It's sometimes it's subtle enough where it just kind of guides you. The newest or most recent example of that I can provide is actually from Expedition 33. I didn't realize it until I didn't beat the game. I still want to go back and beat that game, but several hours in, I was like, so the world is obviously very magical and very mystical and very weird, and there's just weird shit everywhere. But there's one sort of constant, and that's these lanterns. Do you know, like the old school like post lanterns, like black, and then at the top they have like a glass panel and a candle on the top, that kind of a lantern. That top piece is constantly you see them all over the place. It's like a constant like visual element of the game, and a lot of them float in the air above you.
Okay.
And if you follow the ones that float in the air, that's the main path.
Ah, okay.
So if you're traveling in an area that has multiple paths, if you look for the lanterns that are floating in there, it's like, oh, it wants me to go that way. That means I'm going this way.
That's progression. I want to explore everywhere else to make sure I got all the secrets.
It's pretty cool.
That's really nice.
Yeah. I didn't realize it for a while, and then I was like, wait a minute. Because I think they hint at it at some point. They're like, follow the light or something like that. Like that's like kind of like a theme in the game. And I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I wonder if I bet you that kind of like, I bet you there's more to that story wise that unfolds. But I mean, I got to get back to that game. But there's just so many games. But yeah, I love visual design like that, level design like that. It's so cool.
Yeah, and like
it's
I said,
skills.
Maybe that just doesn't fit within their design philosophy. Maybe they want it to be hard. I don't know. Point is, it's gotten to the point where I ran back and forth from one end of the game world to the other, like probably 4 times before I said, I genuinely don't know where the hell I'm supposed to go. And this isn't like a big game that has walkthroughs everywhere. So I couldn't even figure out, like, I couldn't find something that would point me in the direction where it's like, okay, this is where I need to go next. It's so
funny you should say that.
Okay.
There's a reason I'm using a screenshot. It's because finding footage is very difficult. I found footage, but it was from like other YouTubers, and I'm like, I'm not taking. I'm not taking.
Don't want to use
them.
other people's content.
Yeah, IGN, I'm okay with taking from. Quite frankly, they have a watermark there. I credit them. That's fine, but I don't want to take from a YouTuber without asking. So
Joe Blow 29.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of YouTubers out there that just post gameplay and there's no commentary and they don't say anything, and like their descriptions are empty, and I'm just like, I don't know if I want to just take that,
Yeah, I mean that's great for like research purposes, but for actually showing it off, it's like, you want to make sure you're giving credit to the person whose footage you're using. Yeah,
which I could do, but again, I would want permission. Not that I have permission from IGN to use theirs, but
but
I'm sure they don't care.
I'm sure that IGN is not losing out on any advertising revenue because we happen to read from their news stories. I think they're doing fine.
Yeah, I'm sure they're good.
Yeah.
Cool.
So Ashes 2063, good. Ashes Afterglow, I didn't like it. Your mileage may vary, but I'm not that into it.
Fair. All right. I normally have several things to talk about. I downloaded a bunch of Steam demos. I only got to 2 of them. No, sorry, 3 of them. I don't have much to say about them. I wasn't planning on talking about them, but I'll mention what they were real quick. Usual June, I played the demo for. I was looking forward to checking this one out, but I didn't realize that the demo was a pre-alpha demo from over a year ago. So it's a little underbaked. So I was just like, I get what they're going for here, but this is not a good representation of the final product. So I tuned out. And then what else? I played Eric's Home. I think it was called Eric's Home. The Stolen Dream, which is a top-down stealth adventure game. I got I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes into the demo, and I was like, this is not my bag. It kind of feels like, those like tactical games that are real time, but you only control like 3 people.
Yeah, like cannon fodder.
Yeah, like that genre has just never been for me. I'm more of like a turn-based kind of guy.
Yeah.
This one is like, I mean, to the point at which I played in the demo, you only play as one person, and it was pretty simple. And I hope it gets more complicated, but for what I played, I was just kind of bored.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not my genre, but it is very polished and very finely tuned and very pretty, and high marks for presentation, let me tell you.
You know what you might like if you haven't played it? You might like Fallout Tactics, because that is one of those games that you can turn into turn-based. They let you select between real-time and turn-based.
It depends, because if it's like the Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 style, I don't like that.
Okay, then never mind.
Okay, yeah, because I tried to play Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2, and they're the same way. Although Pillars of Eternity 2 has a turn-based mode, but it's not how the game was designed, so it feels very flat.
And yet you like Baldur's Gate 3.
Because that is fully turn-based. That is not a game that's not a real-time game where you can pause, like a KOTOR.
Oh, I thought you just meant from like that perspective. No, you can the fully turn-based thing, yeah, you can pause in Fallout Tactics. You can just choose to not do anything until you're willing to, because it turns into like if you turn on the turn-based mode, it's just like, like Tactics Ogre or whatever. It happens one character at a time.
But it's not like Final Fantasy Tactics or Fire Emblem. It's not like that, because I don't like those. Because I suck at them. Because remember, I talked about this with what was that? Metal Slug Tactics?
Yeah, I mean, it can be kind of like that, depending on how you...
I'm terrible at the rock paper scissors grid based tactics.
No,
games.
It doesn't have the rock paper scissors thing.
Okay, all right, I'll take a look at it. Sure.
Just be aware that it might take some doing to get working, because
there's no GOG version or anything like that.
Well, there might be. I have it on Steam, but the issue is
it's old.
Well, it's old, yes, and because of the way this old game does things, it's not very future-proofed. You know how they used to say, like, frame rate limits? Why would we ever need those? Computers are never going to get faster than 3.78 megahertz.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's that kind of problem.
Yeah, where it's too fast.
You need to have something to slow it down, because the overworld random encounter rate is based on how many frames have elapsed since you got to the world map. And it's like you basically you won't have any encounters for like the first few seconds, so that you're not doing that thing where you like move a pixel and then get into a random battle. But it's based on the frame rate counter, not on your system clock. So on modern systems where that game runs
instant battle.
Yeah, exactly. It is literally instant battle. You literally move one pixel and you get into a battle, because it runs at like 10,000 frames per second on modern systems.
That's
so
funny.
You need to find something that'll get it to slow it down.
Yeah. I'll look and see if GOG's got a version.
Yeah, there might also be a community patch. I don't know, but Fallout Tactics unfortunately doesn't get as much love as I think it should. I really like the game. I think it's great.
Fair. What else did I play? Eric's Home, and then I played something else. Shoot. What was the third one? I sent you that list.
Yeah, you did. You want me to pull that up?
Oh, I got my phone here. Let me see if I can quickly find it. Here it is. Shadow of the Depth. I played Shadow of the Depth. It's like a top-down 2D hack and slash. I think it's a roguelite. I didn't get too far into it. It's fun, but this might be petty to say, but like,
go for it. I love petty complaints.
The sound. So it's like a melee combat oriented hack and slash game, and you really need your melee combat to feel punchy, and like feel like you're hitting something.
Yeah,
and the game just doesn't feel that way, and the sound is just kind of like it doesn't feel like you're swinging a sword or punching something. It feels like you're like punching a tin can. You know what I mean? It's like it's very tinny. It's like.
I mean, that might be where they got the audio from.
Yeah,
because like how are you gonna make your own original Foley work of like swords clanging against each other? You're not. Do you have a sword? No.
No,
You're going to get 2 butter knives, and you're going to clang them together, and that's going to be good enough unless you either use a sound library or you can afford to get swords to bang together.
It just needs more bass.
Yeah.
It doesn't have enough bass.
Yeah. Do you remember the sound that the Clob in GoldenEye made? That was always a really
was that the I called it the staple gun.
Yeah, we called it the staple gun because it had about it felt about as effective. Yeah, it felt about as effective as unfolding a stapler and clicking it and just launching the things out like 3 centimeters, and then they just drop to the ground.
I'm so happy that you remember calling it the staple gun.
I've called it the staple gun for like 30 years, dude.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Because that always stuck with me about that gun.
Hated that gun. Yeah.
It's the worst. Everybody hates that gun.
Yeah.
But the sound it makes is also really bad. Like it doesn't.
It's kind of iconic though. At this point,
it's kind of iconic, but it doesn't feel. It doesn't sound powerful, which I guess is appropriate because it's not a powerful gun.
No, it's bad. It's bad. Okay, so let me get into what I have been playing because I have 2 reviews. I've beaten 2 games, which is pretty cool. So, firstly, Grounded. I have beat Grounded. Me and my buddy finished it last week sometime. It was before last week's show, but last week's show was so big that we just didn't have any time to talk about it. It is a game that desperately needed better. What is happening? That was some glitchiness right there.
Better camera placement, so it's not inside the character's body.
I should specify that this is footage of the game version 1. And it's like had so many updates since then. Yeah. It's kind of insane. The fully yoked edition is what I played. That's what they call it, fully yoked edition. And it even looks so much better than this. It's so crazy. Wow. Yeah, I wish I could have fully yoked edition footage, but it still looks good though. It needed better tutorial. Yeah. It doesn't really have a tutorial. It just kind of throws you in and says figure it out. And it took us, I want to say like 20 to 30 hours before it clicked, and we were like, "Oh, okay, I get the loop. I get where it's going."
I wouldn't have lasted that long.
Well, it's just such an intriguing world, and it has a very similar feeling of exploration that Breath of the Wild gives you.
Yeah.
Where
because I've never played this. Let me see if I understand this correctly.
Yeah.
This is basically Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the video game, right?
Yep.
So it's set in like just modern suburb.
Yep.
Whatever.
Yep. Okay. You're 4 kids, or up to 4 kids, that wake up in the backyard of a house. And you have no idea why you're there. You have like amnesia. You don't remember how you got there. You woke up in like a little briefcase that has like little foam imprints of the kids. So like there's like 4 little imprints of the kids in this foam box, and it's opened, and you're in like a pile of dirt, and
that's really creepy.
Yeah, and then you have these flashbacks like that you just saw as your memories start to come back as you progress in the game. And it's all about exploring the world, getting better gear by hunting new bugs and finding new plants, which are obviously giant versions of, it's like grass and mushrooms. And
technically they're regular sized versions.
Yes.
You're just very small.
Yeah, you're just very tiny. Yeah. Yeah, see, there's a flashback right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's so cute. It's got such a funny sense of humor too, but man, by the time we were done, we kind of wanted more, really? and that's saying something, because this is a huge game, dude.
Well, I think you're in luck, because there's a sequel coming out.
I think it was 2 days before we finished the game, they announced Grounded 2, and we were like, "Oh, sick! That's great." Now we're gonna wait until the full version's out, because they're doing the early access thing with Grounded 2, just like they did with Grounded 1. So we're not going to play the early access version, but man, what a great game. Just a great game. I do have complaints about it, besides not having really any tutorial. I mean, there's some tutorials, but they're kind of just like objectives, where it's like, hey, do this, and then it kind of insinuates that if you do that, you'll kind of learn something from doing it, and then you'll eventually catch on. And for whatever reason, me and my buddy just didn't catch on to the loop until we got brave. So the thing that was keeping us from learning more, I think, was just the fact that you've seen the spiders in this footage a couple of times. They are so scary, especially if you have any form of arachnophobia or bugophobia of any kind. You see a spider and you're just like, holy shit, that is a huge thing. I'm sure that thing would kill me in a second. And so every time you see one for the first part of the game, you don't want to engage with it, so you stay away from it. And then, as it turns out, you really kind of need to fight them to gain certain resources. And then once you do that, other things open up, and you're like, oh, okay. And then you start to notice things in the environment that you never looked at as potentially being something that could give you a resource that would be helpful. And it just kind of it eventually does open up to. I mean, it's open from the get-go. You can play this game however you want. This is a very Breath of the Wild. Look at this. Fuck, scary.
Got to get that spider juice.
Oh God, those spider chunks. There's a bombarder beetle, and it's just for whatever reason.
Like that thing from Starship Troopers that shoots the plasma out of its ass?
Yeah, it shoots these cannon? It shoots these and then there's antlions there. But yeah, the world is huge. It's absolutely massive. If you were to walk from one end to the other, it would take you a long ass time. It's huge. They encourage you to make zip lines, which is another thing that we didn't really grasp.
Oh yeah.
Until it was too late. We kept we had a base in a very specific place, and we would always just venture out from there and then come back. Whereas, once we realized zip lines were so important, then it really cut our time down. Strategically placing those throughout the backyard to get to places faster and get back to the base faster, more time efficient, that kind of thing. But yeah, once the game
this
clicks,
is like the most violent episode of the Magic School Bus ever.
Yeah, it reminds me of that episode where they go into the bloodstream.
Yeah,
they shrink down, they go into the bloodstream. But yeah, the game opens up several times. You think you're done. It's one of those games where you think you're done, and then it's like, oh no, you got more to go. And then you look at the map and you're like, oh, right, I haven't gone that entire section.
Rest of the game over there.
Yeah, like holy shit, like there's the game is basically set in I would say 2/3 or sorry 3 33%, 33%, 33%. And that's it's very clear that they designed it that way because there are tier 1 items, tier 2 items, and tier 3 items. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the higher you go, the more powerful they get. And there's also tier 1 enemies, tier 2 enemies, and tier 3 enemies. Mm-hmm. And I think that in itself is the problem because there's no tier 1 spiders. So every time we saw a spider and it would say tier 2, we were like, oh, we're not ready for tier 2. What the hell? We're just not ready for it. And once they're talking about the game crashing. We didn't have a crash. I think it may have crashed once in our entire playthrough. Yeah, and we definitely didn't have these kind of glitches.
Yeah, that was kind of freaky looking.
Yeah, and as you can see, there's boss fights and stuff, and there's dungeons basically for all intents and purposes. It's such a hard game to describe because there's really nothing like it out there. I mean, you can compare it to Rust, you could compare it to Valheim, you can compare it to games like that, but at the end of the day, the game is just so different that it's just fantastic. And it's huge. It's such a huge game. Now, again, this is not a game for people that are afraid of bugs. Because so I'm not afraid of bugs per se, but spiders specifically, I can't stand spiders, man.
Spiders are creepy looking, man.
Oh, it's just the way their legs move. It's just freaky.
I agree. They're weird.
Yeah. Like fighting these guys, like the fireflies, I'm like, oh, they're kind of cute. They glow and they have little red eyes and
they look like Kamen Rider. You're not gonna understand that reference.
Anime?
It's a Japanese show, kind of like Power Rangers.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, okay. I think I think I've seen it before.
They did attempt to bring Kamen Rider here for like one season, and it didn't really do well. I guess
fair.
the market was just already too oversaturated with Power Rangers and VR Troopers and
Mummy's Alive.
Well, Mummy's Alive was a cartoon, but
That's true.
Big Bad Beetleborgs.
Oh yeah, that was a good show.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could elaborate more on why this game is good, but it is
the Mystic
definitely
Knights of Tirna Nog.
Oh wow, that's a deep cut.
I've had that one
cut.
in my back pocket for a while. Just waiting for the day where I can bring up Tirna Nog.
Tirna Nog. Trying to think of what else to say about it. I'm just trying to think about what else I want to say about because I really want to sell people on this game because I think, like I said, unless you're an arachnophobe. If you're an arachnophobe, don't bother. I struggled getting through this game at various points. There are 3 different kinds of spiders in the game, and we've seen one of them in this.
That seems like a low number considering how many kinds of spiders there are in real life.
Well, you also have to remember that it's one backyard.
That's true. That's true. You're gonna have competition there.
And it's also a little absurd because there's like 3 or 4 Black Widows in his backyard, and I'm like, can't those things like kill you? Like, they're pretty deadly, if I'm not mistaken.
Black Widows, they're more dangerous to children than they are adults. I guess you are playing children in this game, and very small children.
Very small children.
I guess it wouldn't matter how poisonous they are.
No, you'd be dead very quickly.
You'd just be impaled on the fangs. Yeah. But in real life, Black Widows, as long as you're not bitten by a bunch of them, a single Black Widow is not like
not fatal.
Not fatal. It'll make you sick.
Yeah.
The problem is if you disturb like a nest of them and a whole bunch of them bite you, which my mom did as a child.
Oh, really?
She didn't get bitten, but she did find a nest of them, and she actually not that far from where she lives now.
That's creepy.
And she stopped playing in that area.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
It turns out inside the log, whole bunch of Black Widows. Yeah.
Surprisingly, though, the Black Widows, I mean, don't get me wrong, having a bunch of Black Widows in your backyard, probably a big problem. But they're not the scariest. The scariest bug in the game for me is the wolf spider. There is just something about the way they move in this game and the way that they sleep. Like, they are like, they blend in with the background a lot.
Yeah, so, they're very well camouflaged.
Yeah, so you'll like walk around a corner and there'll be just one standing there sleeping, and you'll just be like, oh,
it's like in Land Before Time when they find the T-Rex that they think is dead, except it's still alive.
It's still alive. Yeah. Well, there's one right there. Oh God, they're freaky. And the other thing about the spiders is that during the day the wolf spiders typically sleep, but during the night they roam. So you don't want to be out at night because so many times we would be really far away from the base and looking at the sky going, it's getting dark. We should probably head back. And then we wouldn't make it in time, and we'll just be walking through the thick brush of well, there's a hedge here, the thick brush of the grass, and just one will just walk up just out of nowhere, and you're just like, ah! It freaks you out every single time. And then of course there's the smaller ones, like there's mites and ticks and like little itty bitty bugs, and they make this like skittering sound all the time, and it just makes you itch. It just makes you kind of just like, you just can't sit still. You're just like, oh my God. You know, like the least annoying or the least creepy bugs in this game are like ants, because they don't pitter patter. They're kind of cute, you know? Or the fireflies, they're kind of cute too. Mosquitoes are even not that bad in this game, but there's a lot of different bugs in the game. Anyway, I could go on about the bugs, but highly recommend the game. It's really cool. Just be aware that it's a long game. It's a labor-intensive game. It's better in co-op. I can't imagine playing this game alone. Like I just can't imagine it. You can.
It seems like the kind of thing that'd be difficult to play alone.
Yeah, you definitely can. It's beatable alone, but I would want to play it with at least one other person. We struggled a few times, but we got through it. And it's great, and we can't wait for Grounded 2, which apparently is somewhere like 3 times bigger.
Oh, wow.
Than Grounded 1, which is like, when we found that out, we were like, that's kind of unfathomable. Like, Grounded 1 is huge.
That's a big backyard.
Yeah, I think Grounded 2 takes place in a park.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you're not in the backyard at that time.
Oh, man, you just know there's going to be like a boss fight on a playground structure or something.
Yeah, well, probably, yeah. Yeah, there's boss fights in the first game. You fight the Brood Mother, which is like this like giant spider that births all the other spiders.
Mm-hmm.
You fight a praying mantis. What else is there? I can't remember. You meet the ant queens when you go into the ant hills. You know, it's a game where the world is huge and it's densely packed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, we didn't find everything. We didn't do everything, even though we spent like 100+ hours on the game. It's huge. It's great. There's so many secrets to find. Multiple systems that all work really well together. Yeah, my only real complaints are just getting into the game is really difficult to understand. Now, we won't have that problem with Grounded 2, I'm assuming,
right,
because now we understand the whole concept, right? So Grounded 2 should be a potential Game of the Year candidate when it's done, for me and my buddy. But the biggest problem with the game, which I hope they rectify, is what we're seeing right now, which is the inventory management. There is so many items in the game. So many items, so many resources, so many different kinds of resources. And just figuring out how to organize them in your base is just so cumbersome. It's such a nightmare. And it just doesn't work.
Do you find yourself playing like inventory Tetris, like
yes.
Resident Evil 4, where you just like, okay.
So I do that in Valheim, but that's because Valheim's system is far more intuitive. And there's far less different items. Like, there's probably no less than like 180 different items in the game.
Oh, wow.
Like 180 different resources, and it's just it's too much. Whereas in Valheim, it's probably a quarter of that.
Yeah, that sounds much more manageable. Even that sounds like a lot. Yeah,
it's still a lot, but it's I don't know. It's, for whatever reason, I found it much easier in Valheim. But it's very, very similar inventories. But just for whatever reason, just having less items to manage, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope they find a way to rectify that in the second one. That being said, though, if the game's 3 times as large, I can't imagine there being less items. So they're going to have to figure out a way to make the inventory more manageable somehow. Either some better sort options or something.
Categories or something.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do it, but they need to. Because that was the most frustrating part of it. But highly recommend the game. It's great. I give it an 8 out of 10. I would give it higher, but those are pretty big complaints for me for a game like this. The game is absolutely gorgeous, though. This video does not do it justice at all. The game is absolutely beautiful. It's really great. And look at that. They gave it a 9. I would be closer to a 9 if the inventory was better. It was very frustrating. Did you see
that IGN is now selling shirts with their ratings on it?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny. I'm a 2.
Yeah, I know. They sell all 10. It's like, why would somebody buy the 2?
Buy a 2. I'm awful. Well, I mean, you could like gift it to your enemy, I guess.
I guess.
Make a good gag gift. I'm a 1 out of 10. All right, so that's that. And then the next one I don't have as much to say because it's not nearly as deep of a game. And that is Life is Strange Double Exposure. Double Exposure. So this is the sequel to the original Life is Strange. So for those of you who've never played the Life is Strange series, there are, I want to say, 4 games in the series. There's Life is Strange 2, Life is Strange True Colors, and then Life is Strange Double Exposure. So Life is Strange 1 and Double Exposure are directly linked. 2 and True Colors are standalones. They're not related to each other, at least from what I understand. I didn't like 2, and I didn't like True Colors. I couldn't get into them for whatever reason. But the character that you play in the first game, which is her, Max, she's just so relatable and interesting that I don't really understand why they went with a completely new story for the other games when they clearly had a winning character to build more story off of. Clearly, they realized that at a certain point because now we're going back to the first game. One thing I do find weird, though, is that the first game was about her and her best friend in the original game, and the best friend's not in this game at all. She's referenced many times, but she's just not in the game. It has nothing to do with her, which is a little disappointing. If I remember correctly, her best friend was voiced by Ashley Birch, so maybe they just couldn't afford her anymore, given how much bigger she's become. But I enjoyed my time with Double Exposure. It is a very pretty game. I will say, even though it doesn't bother me whatsoever, that it is a very what the imbeciles out there would call a very woke game. This game is full of progressive ways of thinking, shall we say. Lots of pride stuff. Lots of pride stuff. No spoilers, really. Should I spoil the first game at all? I don't even know. Does it matter? It's been out for like 15 years.
It's been out for a while, but it's also a very story heavy thing. So giving away the story is kind of.
That's true. You know? Okay, I'll put a spoiler warning here. If you don't want to know anything about Life is Strange 1, skip until you see the video change to our next topic. That'd be the easiest way of doing it. So she is a lesbian. I don't think she realizes it in the first game until like a quarter of the way through, halfway through, something like that. So she's a lesbian. She's still a lesbian in this one, obviously. That doesn't change. That doesn't change. Although she does have men hit on her in this game, which is interesting.
Hey, you still lesbian?
Well, I mean, she never transferred to bi, I guess, is the way there, because she does get hit on by men in this game. So there's that. One of the other sort of supporting characters is trans, very obviously trans. It kind of didn't occur to me at first because I'm a normal human being who doesn't, I don't look for that. Like I don't look for like, you know what I'm saying? Like gender is.
You just look at it, you go, okay, you're a person, whatever.
Yeah, you're a person. You're like, I don't look at you and go, are you or aren't you? What are you? Like, I don't do that. So it took me a while, and then I was like, oh, I get it. I get it. That's what this is. She's trans. Cool. And that happens kind of infrequently in the game. There's like I said, there's a lot of progressive topics. There's a lot of there's continued supernatural elements to this game.
Yeah, isn't it like a time travel thing or something?
Yeah, so the first game, she has powers where she can rewind time and change her decisions that she makes in the game. And to anyone who hasn't played these games before, they are essentially like Telltale games where you kind of just watch a movie and make dialogue choices that affect the story. And that's basically it. There's really no like.
Yeah, that's always the vibe I got off of them.
Yeah, there's no real gameplay.
Which is part of the reason why I never played them, because like.
Yeah, they're for a very specific audience. Yeah. If you're not into the story content, you have no reason to play these games whatsoever. There's no real gameplay. There's some light puzzle elements. But,
yeah.
But for the most part, it's basically just walk around, talk to people, progress the story, make decisions, and watch. Do a lot of watching.
Yeah, in order for me to get into that, like the game has to be really funny, because otherwise, like I'm not going to.
Tales from the Borderlands does that really well. Yeah.
Tales from the Borderlands is great. It's the only Borderlands game that I like.
Which is funny because it has the same kind of humor that the shooter does. Excuse me. I think it's a different writer though. Yeah, so in the first game, you can rewind time and change your decisions and stuff like that. And she basically learns over the course of the story that changing decisions just makes things worse. So
Butterfly Effect.
Butterfly Effect, exactly. So just
remember how that movie went?
That movie scares the shit out of me these days. Like, I tried to go back and watch it like several years ago, and I was like, man, this is a fucked up movie.
Yeah, you get to a point where you're like, well, the only way to fix things is to strangle myself in the womb.
yeah,
and then the mom is like, not again, and you're like, oh god, this has happened multiple times. Has every single one of her babies had time powers and ultimately come to the decision, better kill myself?
I never saw the sequel. Did you?
No.
Yeah, did I? Now she doesn't have her time powers in this game. She decides not to use them after the events of the first game, which makes total sense if you've played the first game. And so she does go to use them again at some point in this game, and they don't work. And it's basically explained that because she didn't use them for so long, it's like flexing a muscle that you haven't used in a long time. It's like atrophy. So her power in this one that suddenly comes up is this: she can travel between two timelines. So there is two timelines that are simultaneously going on, and she can jump between them in various spots. Like, you can see these little sparkles in the air, kind of like portals, basically, and she can jump between them. And boy, does that get tricky to keep track of, because the timelines only have one difference, and that is that one character doesn't exist in one timeline, and they do exist in the other timeline. So
that's like Chrono Cross, where your main character is dead in one world and alive in the other, but it has a lot of knock-on effects in the game world where other things change because of that.
Yeah, so there are many. I don't want to say many, but like, for the most part, everything is exactly the same. But then you as you talk to people, you're like, oh, okay. They're reacting to this person not being around anymore differently than I thought they would.
That person is dead. Now you've gone and started worshiping a straw doll that will join your party.
Yeah, definitely nothing like that going on. Just very subtle differences. So when you're going back and forth between the two worlds and you're talking to people, you can actually screw up and say something to someone that where you're referencing something that you said to the other version of the person, and they'll react accordingly. They'll be like, "Wait, what are you talking about?" Yeah, and you'll be like, "Oh shit, right. Never mind. I'm having a bad day. I don't know what I'm talking about." And that can really like fuck things up. And it's not because it's not a forced thing. Like, it's a dialogue option, and it doesn't warn you. It's just there, and if you decide it,
it's there for you to trip over, basically.
Exactly.
Trap.
Yeah, and I did a couple of times.
You gotta be mindful of what you said. That's cool.
Yeah, you have to be mindful of what you said and what you've done, because you can make decisions that will also affect the world. You could like do things like I think I changed someone's grade in one of the timelines, and then I referenced. Because she was a bitch in that timeline, something like that. But in the other timeline, she was perfectly nice and wasn't a bitch. And I changed the grade in the wrong timeline, so I basically fucked with somebody who wasn't an asshole.
Didn't deserve it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
those kinds of things are really cool, and it's got a lot of nice touches, and it's very competent in that sense. However, it does have some problems. Number one, there are a few early game plot holes that don't make any sense. This isn't a spoiler because I'm not going to tell you the character, but a specific character dies fairly early in the game. They are you find them and they've been shot in the chest, and for some reason the police rule it a suicide. But there was no gun at the crime scene. And I'm like, how did the police come to the conclusion that this was a suicide if there was no gun at the crime scene? And most people that kill themselves with a gun probably not going to shoot themselves in the chest.
No, that's not usually the choice position.
No. So I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. And that's never really explained. I'm like, well, you guys got some pretty stupid cops. Just put
never
it
like, oh, it was actually a murder, and you solve it. It was just like, no, it was a suicide.
I mean, I'm not going to spoil
so
it.
there is more
I don't want to
to
spoil
it,
it.
but
There's definitely way more to it than that. But by the end of it, you look back and you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
There's no way that made any sense.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of those kind of things that happen, but it's all in the early game, and then like the rest of the game, I didn't really see any plot holes. So I don't know if it was just it must have just been a couple of oversights on the writer's part.
Yeah,
which is not good when the game is so heavily story based.
Yeah, but I mean, it happens. So
it does. It does. I forgave it. It didn't ruin the experience for me, but it's those kind of things that are like, this game must have been play tested like 1 billion times. Nobody noticed that this makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems strange to me. That's just one of the things, though. Like, there's probably 3 or 4 of those kind of things in the early game where I'm like, huh? Okay, sure, whatever. It's also never clear until, like, you kind of have to put the pieces together that, would you guess from what you've watched so far that the main character and some other ones that she's been talking to aren't students? This is a school campus. She's not a student.
I've been paying more attention to what you've been saying than the footage. The footage is kind of the background thing. But like, I can see how you would look at this and say, oh yeah, she looks like a student.
Yeah. No, she's a teacher, and a lot of the people she speaks to are teachers, and it's like, she's very young.
Yeah.
And she just doesn't evoke teacher. And a bunch of the other characters that are teachers also don't evoke teacher. And you're just kind of like, eventually it clicks and you're like, oh, wait, they're teachers, not students. Because in the first game, she's 18 years old and she's definitely a student in her senior year of high school. Mm-hmm. So it's just very, like, I thought this was all about her college years.
Yeah.
Nope, she's a teacher. I was like, oh, okay. So that was kind of strange. That it wasn't like made super obvious, unless I'm just stupid. I could just be stupid. Who knows? And then the other problem is there's some loose ends that are not tied up for some reason. The game does unfortunately end on somewhat of a cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
So there is going to be a sequel to this, apparently.
Yeah.
It kind of bothers me a little bit that the first game is sort of a standalone thing, and now we're getting after 2 more games that have nothing to do with the first one. Now we're getting either back-to-back games that are linked to each other with the decisions crossing over to the next game, or potentially a trilogy. It's like, why wasn't this done in the first place?
Yeah, it seems like it would have been the better option to do it that way.
Yeah, it's just weird. So I don't know. It's hard to explain certain things without getting into super spoilery territory. But I was a little frustrated that it didn't tie everything up, because that means I have to play the next game in order to learn more. And if that is another one,
you don't have to do anything.
I don't have to, but now I have all these
they're not the boss of you.
They're not. No, I don't have to. But it's like there's a bunch of these lingering questions, and if I can play the other ones, this game might end up looking a lot better than it does right now. Because as it sits, I would give it like a 6. But if everything pays off in the sequels, this game might end up looking a lot better than it currently does. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's so hard for me to put a stamp on it. I like it. I just want to like it more than I do for some reason.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where the sequel is several years off instead of just being like next year, like a TV show season.
Yeah, and I can't even handle that. Like TV show seasons where it's like you got to wait a year. Mm-hmm. It's like by the time I come around for a year later, I've forgotten half the shit that happened. Yeah. I got to rewatch it. which is why I don't watch TV. I watch TV shows after they're finished.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I binge them now because I hate the wait, So I don't know. And that's all I have to say.
All right.
But I enjoyed it. I just wanted to enjoy it more, I guess. Okay, let's do something else. Let's jump back into the Metacritic check-in.
All right.
I don't know if we did FBC Firebreak last week, but I don't know what the scores were, how many reviews there were at that time. So let's just give a quick update on that. It's not doing well. I don't think the scores have changed. Sitting at a 65 Metacritic.
Yeah.
53 from users. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's changed.
That's kind of like I said last week. That's kind of what I expected. Just looking at the footage and just knowing how that game is, I really am not sure what Remedy was thinking.
Who publishes them?
505, I think.
Maybe it was like a publisher forced thing where they're like, here.
I don't know if 505 has that kind of, because they don't own them.
No.
So I'm not
maybe
sure.
Maybe they just wanted something to do. I don't know.
I guess.
Or maybe they wanted to try and capitalize on Control's success.
Was Alan Wake 2 not enough to do though in that meantime?
I don't know how well it sold.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It is a very odd decision though. I agree.
Yeah, it doesn't really make any sense from that developer in that franchise. It's very odd.
Yeah, I would picture a co-op Remedy game to be much more slower paced and methodical.
And its own thing, and not like, oh, hey, here's a spin-off of this other thing that is most definitely a single-player experience.
Yeah.
Like, let's craft something from the ground up.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that Remedy would necessarily be bad at making a co-op experience. It's just like this particular kind of, like, Left 4 Dead in the Control universe. No.
Yeah, it's very strange.
I wonder why nobody, like, did they not just go, guys, is this really a good idea? Because it seems like the kind of thing where you'd be asking yourself that every day.
Everybody wants to get on the multiplayer,
I
money
guess.
train.
It's just such a baffling thing that this game exists.
My only other theory is that they have two teams now. And they had like a B team working on this.
Maybe.
You have to assume that that's the case because this came out very quickly after Alan Wake 2.
Yeah, I mean that does make sense, but why assign them
a multiplayer game
to this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like why not have them start like building assets for Control 2 or something like that? I mean, I guess technically they could be. Who knows? Maybe stuff from this will show up in Control 2. Like maybe enemy types will get reused in that game. Who knows?
Hopefully not.
Well, if it ends up bombing, and critically it kind of seems like it is bombing, I'd hope they get use out of those assets because I'd hate for all that to go to waste.
Concord.
Yeah.
Get out that bingo card, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
Next one is Rematch. This is the Sifu guys. Remember Sifu? That's the karate game I was trying to remember last week. This is their soccer game, which I played and I talked about last week. Sitting at a 76 critic score, which is a little low, and a 65 from users. So I guess people are not currently vibing with it the way I thought they were going to, based off of what I played. Like it seemed very intricate and complicated enough to be a really competitive game, but
I guess Rocket League is just still people's shit,
It could be. Well, let me see what people's complaints here.
I mean, it's hard to compete. Like, if you're making a soccer game, it's hard to compete against one where you drive RC cars. Like, that's just inherently a more interesting gimmick. That alone, I would say, has got to account for some of it. And also, my guess is that people are just kind of invested in Rocket League. Like, I don't know for a fact that this is just a Rocket League thing, but my experience has been if you're doing something that somebody else has been doing and doing quite successfully for a few years, it's hard to get into that market. Like it's really difficult. Like even Blizzard fucked it up with Heroes of the Storm. Like other people had just been doing that for longer, and they were already invested in Dota and League of Legends, and to a certain degree, even Heroes of New Earth, although that seems to have kind of dropped off in popularity as well.
Yeah, looking at the reviews, it seems like most of the complaints are based on controls.
Yeah, okay.
It says it says it feels like it's been built for the hardcore instead of a mainstream audience, which I would actually agree with because it's very complicated. But I can see people I can see the hardcore getting super into it and just doing some amazing trick shots and all this kind of crazy stuff. So maybe it'll find an audience. We'll see. It doesn't seem to be resonating with the mainstream though. The System Shock 2 25th anniversary remaster is out.
Yeah, and I'm actually thinking about picking that up after we're done with this show.
Early reviews are out, sitting at an 83 from critics. Nothing from users yet.
That sounds pretty consistent with what I've heard, because unlike the System Shock 1 remake, this is basically the old game with better graphics, quality of life improvements, and a few modifications to the level design, but not really massive ones. They haven't changed stuff around so much as they've added a few new things.
Yeah. And then finally, the long-awaited Death Stranding 2 on the beach has been released to rave reviews, sitting at a 90 from critics and an 84 from users.
And that is still PS5 exclusive. No PC.
I'm sure it will.
Oh yeah, but like in a year.
Yeah, it'll take a bit, and it'll be like a director's cut again.
Yeah, but that means I have to wait a year to play it.
I mean, I'm probably going to wait a year to play it too, to be honest with you. I really do want to play it, but I just know that after the first game, when they did the director's cut is apparently a much better, more streamlined game. So I feel like this is probably going to be the same thing. So
I have no idea. I only played the standard version.
Okay. Death Stranding 2 is in the news, so we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Okay.
But yeah, that is your Metacritic check-in. Let's get into the news, shall we?
Sure.
Starting with Mario Kart World. We've got 2 pieces of news for Mario Kart World.
Yeah, I heard about one of these.
So the first one is don't expect a return of cameos from Zelda, Splatoon, or Animal Crossing in Mario Kart World. And it's a little strange as to why. So listen to this, courtesy of IGN, of course. So whereas Mario Kart 8 welcomed Link, Zelda, Isabelle, and the Inklings to its character roster, the even longer cast list found in Mario Kart World lacks any faces from outside the Mario universe. Even the ability to race as your Mii, a staple since Mario Kart Wii, is also gone. Now, Nintendo has addressed its U-turn on characters from beyond the Mushroom Kingdom's borders and noted that it was a deliberate choice to keep Mario Kart's world from feeling incongruous. So this is where it gets weird. Quote, as developers, it would have seemed incongruous. Is that how you say that? Incongruous? Incongruous? Incongruous. I think I don't know. As developers, it would have seemed incongruous to us to add characters from other games to this universe, and it didn't seem necessary to us, given everything we could already do with Mario. When asked specifically whether Yabuki had considered adding characters from another one of his Nintendo project, ARMS, the producer replied, absolutely not. We inevitably wonder how the players will perceive this casting, but there are so many characters and so many costumes that every player is sure to find what they're looking for.
So let me give you my take on this. The only reason that you had like Link and all those characters in Mario Kart 8 is because that was the Switch version, and they didn't have an original Mario Kart title for the Switch. So they needed to give people something like, oh, it's not just Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. It's that plus all this other stuff. Like it really felt like an attempt to extend the life of the game, because that game's been out for like 7 or 8 years at this point.
But you can't tell me that they're not going to do DLC for this game.
Oh, they're going to do DLC, but I feel like they were really scraping the bottom of the barrel and reluctantly reached outside of Mario games for characters.
I mean, to be fair, scraping the bottom of the barrel, they have a cow in this game.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I know. The cow is...
the Moo Moo from Moo Moo Meadows is driving a cart. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but people love the cow. Have you seen the screenshots of just nothing but cows racing?
Yeah, they do love the cow. There's another weird driver as well. I can't remember what it was. Was it a Goomba? No.
I mean, there is a Goomba there in the screen or in the promo art.
Let me look at the full character list.
Driving a cart there. There's a few enemies there. There's actually multiple Goombas here. I can see. There's one in the background as well.
Okay, here's the full list: Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Rosalina, Yoshi, Toad, Toadette, Koopa Troopa, Bowser, Donkey Kong, Wario, Waluigi, Pauline. Wait, Pauline? Oh, that's the Donkey Kong girl, right?
Yeah.
Baby Mario, Baby Luigi, Baby Peach, Baby Daisy, Baby Rosalina, Birdo, King Boo, Bowser Jr., Shy Guy, and Lakitu. And then we have a Goomba, a Parabitty-Bud. What the fuck is that?
I think that's the ladybug thing with wings.
Oh, right there? This guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in the game?
I guess.
Okay.
I mean, if a Koopa Troopa's in there, why not? Just
who remembers that thing, though? Like, for real?
I don't know.
And then we got Sidestepper, Stingbee.
Yeah, that's like, isn't that the crab from the original Mario Brothers?
Okay, they got a crab driving.
Yeah, but it's an original Mario enemy.
The bottom of the barrel.
Look,
Come on,
I'm not saying that they're not reaching into the barrel, but what they were doing before is they went to another barrel. Like they were so desperate for racers, is they went to another barrel.
That's true.
Is really what happened.
I think he's full of shit. I think when we get DLC, there's going to be a Zelda world. There's going to be a Metroid world. There's going to be all kinds of shit.
Like an entire world? I don't know, man. That seems like
I think that's what they're going to do with the DLC. They're going to put new islands around the world, around the island that exists.
A Metroid world? Maybe a Zelda world. I don't think they're going to do a Metroid world.
Well, or maybe they'll do a mixed world.
Maybe they'll turn the Nintendo World game into a course.
There you go. Was that what it was called? Nintendo World?
Yep.
Wow. That was a weird game.
Yeah. It's like, hey, here's a bunch of mini games of games that you'd rather be playing, like original titles on the Wii U of.
Yeah. The thing I call out, though, is their claim that it would feel incongruous to add characters from other games to this universe. It's like, you already did it, so now it's incongruous to add them to Mario Kart World?
Whatever.
Okay. Whatever you say. And then the other Mario Kart World news article here is about an update that they did to the game.
Mm-hmm.
Was this the one you heard of?
Yes.
The one. Okay. So Nintendo has updated Mario Kart World to change how the game handles online course selection in a move that has gone against many fans' wishes and highlighted the mixed response to the game's open world overall. Mario Kart World version 1.1.2 was released last night, and patch notes from Nintendo state that it adjusted courses selected in random when selecting next course in a wireless versus race. I don't know why they call it a wireless versus race. Just call it an online race.
Yeah, or multiplayer or something.
Yeah, wireless. What if you're plugged in with a cable? It's not wireless.
Oh, well, then the patch doesn't apply to you, I guess.
Yeah, fuck you.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
That'd be weird.
That would be weird. So while confusingly phrased, this change looks to be a deliberate move by Nintendo to nerf the game's random course selection option when playing in versus mode, something many fans have been using to opt out of intermission tracks whenever possible. What is an intermission track, you say? This fan term relates to the often long stretch of open world players must travel through to get from their current location to another nearby course, before playing just one lap of its track. These nearby courses that the game will usually suggest as options for the next race, meaning players typically must play an intermission track alongside the random option, which alternatively picks a course from elsewhere. Fans had been using the random option to deliberately skip intermission tracks where possible, hoping instead to be transported to a faraway course where they are plunked at the starting line. In these cases, players are then given the classic 3-lap Mario Kart course experience and skip the intermission track. Now, with this change, random also picks from the nearby courses the game suggests, meaning faraway courses are no longer guaranteed to appear, and intermission tracks are now more likely. As a lengthy thread on forum, blah, 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 blah. People are bitching about it, basically.
Yeah.
So basically, there was Nintendo going, hey, this is not what we intended.
Yeah.
Play it the way we want you to.
Yeah, and I'm kind of mixed about that, because on the one hand, like, I can totally understand people just wanting to do a 3-lap race in a racing game. It seems like kind of a standard thing to do. But then it also kind of defeats the whole point of making it an open world game. So, like, I feel like it was working well the way before, because, like, if you still liked the open world aspect of it, you could still do that with other people. I feel like this is kind of an unnecessary change. I'm not as vitriolic about it as some of the people I've seen online. Like, some people are really mad about it.
I mean, outrage.
Yeah.
Bait, you know?
Yeah. But, like, I don't know. I don't think it's that big a deal, but I also don't think they should have changed it. Like, just leave well enough alone. People were happy with it, so just leave it there.
I think the biggest complaint about the intermission tracks is that I guess most of them are just, like, straightaways.
Yeah, just stretches of road.
You just drive straight
just to get to the next starting line. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is kind of like, the more I'm hearing about World, the more I'm thinking, like, man, but this game feels like it was undercooked. You know, like, you designed this entire world full of tracks that are supposed to link together between races, but you didn't do it to the point where the intermission tracks are anything other than just straightaways.
Yeah,
that's a little strange.
I think the issue may be that Nintendo has spent 30 years making Mario Kart games with, closed courses, and then suddenly it's like, oh, now we need to think of a way of linking them all together. How about this? And it's just kind of a line from one to the next,
which feels very not Nintendo-like, because Nintendo is normally very like progressive thinking and innovative, and
in some ways, yes. In others, not so much. Like online play, which they've only just recently started to catch up with.
From a gameplay
standpoint, absolutely. From a technical standpoint, yeah. It
just feels like it just feels like a design flaw.
Yeah,
which is weird for a game that took a long time to make, because we don't
know how long this game was in development for. We just know how long it's been since Mario Kart 8 came out. But I don't know. It seems like a problem that shouldn't be there. Like this should have been a thing that they should have accounted for. Like, hey, there are going to be people who just want to play this classic, and there are going to be people who want to do the new thing, and maybe we should let them do both, because that would help drive sales of our new system that's already crazy expensive.
Yeah. It certainly, all the talk about this game certainly doesn't make me want to jump out and buy a Switch 2 for it, that's for sure.
I mean, I've never been like a huge Mario Kart guy. I enjoy the occasional Mario Kart, but it's never been it's never been a system seller for me.
No, me either. I always get it, and I always play it. It's always been like a varying degree of how long I play it for, you know.
I think the only Mario Kart game that I've ever owned personally was Mario Kart DS.
I've had 64.
Yeah, I didn't buy 64 because I could just go over to your house to play it.
That's right. Yeah, it's 64, DS, Wii.
I regret not buying Double Dash because I really liked that one.
I have a copy of it, but I don't think I've ever played it. So I bought it when I was collecting, like many years later.
Now they're all crazy expensive.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I don't know what to think, but it's just kind of disappointing. You know, when I think of a Nintendo game, this was the biggest kind of like, this is the game that they chose as their first game to charge $80 US for. What is it about this game that makes it $10 more, valuable than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? It doesn't seem like it is to me.
Yeah.
I think that was a big mistake on their part. I don't understand. I don't like.
Well, I do understand tariffs and all that, or
tariffs and money and all that shit.
Yeah.
I just feel like, if you're gonna pick a game to be your first $80 game, like it's got to be a home run. For at least for a first party Nintendo game. It's like,
yeah.
Anyway, sat on this long enough. Let's move on. So there is Switch 2 news, but it's not specifically Switch 2. I don't know if you heard about this. The accessory problem.
No, I don't think I have.
You're gonna love this then.
Oh boy, here we go.
So this is not a Nintendo issue. This is a third-party brand issue.
Okay.
I'm just going to bring up the video and let you watch it.
Okay. Hold on. So this is Kill Switch.
Yes. So it's a case for the Switch, and there are many flaws with the way it's been built.
Okay.
Where that affect the magnet.
Okay.
On the Joy-Con, and so if you hold the right Joy-Con without supporting the system, that's what happens. It just falls right off for some reason.
That is not a thing that it should be doing.
No. And the bigger problem with this is that when people started pointing this out to the company that makes it, they had a great statement. So let me see if I can find the direct quote here.
So just to be clear, these are like extra grips for the Joy-Cons?
No, it's like a whole case.
It's a whole case.
It's basically like a do you know what oh shit. What do they call this thing? What do they call this thing on a phone? Like the
I don't know. I like the kickstand thingy.
No, not this. The protective case. There's a big brand.
Oh, OtterBox.
OtterBox, yeah. It's like an OtterBox for your Switch.
Okay.
Apparently they made them for Switch 1 and it was very popular, and then they made it for this, and well, I think it speaks for itself. So after the complaints came in, the company that developed the Kill Switch 2, the company's name is D-Brand, said the issue of detaching Joy-Con 2 controllers should only occur if all three of the following conditions are met. Number 1, you're holding the Nintendo Switch 2 by only one Joy-Con. 2, you're touching only the Joy-Con itself. 3, your console has lowered to an angle that's more parallel to the ground than it's not. So in other words, exactly what we saw in the video. He was looking down at it, and he held it by the right Joy-Con, and it falls apart. Now, some might say, how often does that happen? You'd be surprised. Because
I take my hand off my Switch all the time. Like I gotta scratch my nose or something.
Yeah, you gotta scratch your nose, you gotta pick up a drink, take a drink.
Yeah.
You're gonna be holding it by one of the Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
So this is a pretty frequent thing to do.
This seems like a weird thing for D-Brand to fuck up, because they're normally pretty good about this stuff.
So D-Brand continued after saying that those are the three conditions met to do it. They said not one of them, ourselves included, precariously held the entire console only by one Joy-Con horizontally with zero instinctive finger support on the back, loading 87% of the console weight directly on the Joy-Con hinge during testing. And they continued by suggesting that customers with kill switch complaints were posting videos highlighting a problem that would not regularly be experienced, or as D-Brand put it, quote, nobody routinely puts Mentos into their Diet Coke.
Yeah, that's a very D brand thing to say, but it's not very D brand of them to basically
Dismiss.
say it's your problem, not ours. Because D brand kind of has a reputation for being cool,
Hmm.
and this is not cool. I hold my Switch like that all the time because I know that I can because of the rails, and from what I've seen of the Switch 2, it looks like the magnets are strong enough for you to do that as well. So if this
Yeah.
is now happening
Hmm.
when you put the D brand case on, that's your problem, D brand. That's not anybody
Exactly.
else's problem. You are the X factor that's been introduced here. Sounds like that's a thing you need to solve.
Yeah. They went on to say, "What's happening with the four Redditors who are experiencing more severe detachment issues? We believe it's due to these Joy-Con grips featuring an inner attachment lip that's a hair thicker than desired." Uh, Adding that it had now adjusted our tolerance guidelines for mass production to filter out any Joy-Cons that cross that lip uh, is 0.12 millimeters too thick threshold. They rounded out its initial post by emphasizing once more that the issue was rare and an unavoidable reality of making a Joy-Con grip with a non-adhesive attachment mechanism that was not in any way reflective of how people actually hold their Switch 2.
Well, then maybe they shouldn't have made it like that. Maybe they
Yeah,
should have
so,
figured out a design that worked.
so they got a lot of bad feedback for that.
Yeah, I
Quote,
bet they
terrible
did.
response. Quote, too long, didn't read. You're holding it wrong. It's basically what they said.
Yeah,
Um, Days later, Dbrand has now reconsidered, apologized for the tone of its statement, and promised replacement Joy-Cons
yeah,
for all
yeah. I
customers.
bet. I bet somebody in the company said we're fucked if we don't, because their reputation is everything. Because they're not a massive company, but they
No,
have a reputation as being the cool case company that actually gives a shit.
yeah,
So if they compromise that, they basically lose everything. Like their entire brand identity, all the consumer goodwill that they've spent years building up.
yeah,
Yeah, they'd better have taken notice that this was a fucking stupid way to respond.
yeah. And they made another statement too, saying, "Quote: After reading through your feedback, it's quite clear that our post was a spectacularly terrible response to the issue at hand. Some of
Yeah,
you have expressed that opinion in a perfectly reasonable way. Others have expressed it with literal death threats." Which, of course
yeah.
it is because it's the internet and people are stupid.
But yeah,
Um,
that is the right response from D Brand. It's like, yeah, oops, we fucked up. We will fix this now.
yeah. Yeah, you got
That's
to
what
wonder who
they.
was manning the posting to compare it to putting Mentos in your Diet Coke.
Yeah, I don't know because that doesn't seem like a thing that an intern would just post without approval.
Yeah, very strange.
You know that
Very
that
strange.
feels that feels like a message that was delivered, maybe not necessarily from the highest points on high, but like that's a company policy that they're putting out there. So somebody with authority has to have made that decision to put out that message. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's good that they've now gone back of that because that I would not buy anything from D brand if they had stuck by that. Like I would
Hmm.
say, okay, well you've lost my future business. Like
Yeah.
whatever I might have considered buying from you in the future, no more. If this is how you're going to handle defects in your design is to deflect blame on other people, fuck you. You're no longer the cool case company. You're just another bullshit company like
Yeah.
everyone else.
Do you buy third party accessories at all?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have third party Joy Cons in my Switch right now.
Oh wow. And they work great.
Well, they did.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I will say this: they lasted longer than the official ones by quite a lot. They've
Wow.
lasted like twice as long as the official ones.
Well, that's good.
And I think there's probably a limit to how durable you can make something of that size and weight. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to be making it out of plastic and rubber, it's going to have a finite lifespan, because you can't make it out of like steel. That's going to be too heavy.
Yeah.
Nobody's going
Yeah.
to want to carry around a steel
A
game
2 pound
system.
Joy-Con.
Yeah, yeah, that's not
Yeah.
going to go over well. But yeah, the third party ones I have, they're not working great anymore, but they worked longer than the official ones. So I would say by that metric, they are better.
I typically avoid third-party stuff. I do have one third-party item right now, and that's the it's a third-party Switch Pro controller, basically.
Yeah. Well, it also depends on like to what degree it is third party. Like if it's completely third party, like unlicensed, whatever, then you're kind of eh. If it's one of the things that's like Nintendo approved or like whoever approved, you're like, okay, well they've at least looked at it and said, yeah, that meets our quality standards.
Yeah, no, the controller isn't Nintendo approved. It's got like a Zelda, like
That stuff
on
is
it, and
that stuff is usually totally safe to get because you know that people have looked at it and said, yeah, this is good, this works.
It's decent. My only complaints about it are it's wired, so you have like this long USB. That goes,
I
to the Switch.
Really have as much of a problem with that as long as I can use it with my PC.
You don't have a cat.
That is true. But I did grow up with cats. I grew up with lots of cats.
That's fair. Yeah, you did. That's true. So I don't like that. The controller is also extremely light. Like talking like...
You're worried about its durability?
Yeah, like it weighs less than my phone does. Like it's very light.
Yeah, that's too light. That's not confidence inspiring.
It's probably like 25% of my phone. Like
wow.
Like it feels empty.
Is it like lacking vibration motors or something, or?
Yeah, I don't think it has a rumble.
That might account for it then, because those things have got to be weighted in order for them to, rumble the controller. And the Switch has a bunch of rumble motors in it in the Joy-Cons, so lacking those, it might actually significantly impact the weight of it.
Yeah, I kind of bought it by mistake. I thought it was basically just a Nintendo Pro controller with a skin on it, but it's not. They got me.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. We haven't heard of this since they initially talked about it.
Oh, yeah.
Nintendo exclusive, Switch 2 exclusive, Drag and Drive, I think is the official way you say it. Yes. Drag and Drive. Stop using the X, people. Just stop. Yeah. Unless it's for a literal crossover, then it's okay. If it's not for a crossover, put a fucking and symbol in there. Yeah. That's what the ampersand's for, guys. Yep. So yeah, Drag and Drive has a release date and a price.
All right.
It is been announced to be exclusively on the eShop for Switch 2.
Not surprising.
August 14th. No physical release. And the game will cost $19.99.
So US. Pretty much what we thought, that this looked like a...
That explains why it's not a visual stunner.
Yeah, it's a budget game.
Yeah.
I'm still interested in it.
Yeah, it could be good. I'm not going to get it, though. It's not for me. I know that just by looking at it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll need to have a Switch too before it really matters. But
yeah, I mean, I'm more interested in this than Welcome to Her. I'll put you that way.
Yeah, but come on.
And it's twice the price.
Yeah, so. But this is an actual game.
Oh, yes, it is. Yeah, it's true. It's very true. All right. All right. This next one is about Death Stranding 2. So I talked about this earlier. Have you seen the posts that are going on? I'm assuming you're probably on Media Blackout.
I'm trying to avoid it. It's going to be unavoidable to a certain degree, but I'm trying to avoid it as much as I can. So I haven't watched like any post-release stuff.
Okay. So there's no spoilers in this. I made sure of that. So the loading times in Death Stranding 2 are some of the fastest loading times anyone has ever seen in a video game in the modern era. Watch this.
All right.
So this is the main screen. He's about to click load game. There's the load game. He clicks load game. Boom, he's in.
Wow. I was going to say, Death Stranding 1's load times weren't that bad, but wow, that's instantaneous.
There's no load times. There's not even a load screen, basically.
That's that NVMe solid state drive at work, I guess.
Crazy. Like, look at that.
That's awesome. I love that.
Amazing, right?
Yeah. We're finally back.
Yeah.
Assuming that you build a system that supports... There's probably a whole bunch of preloading of assets going on there. Like, I wonder how long it is to boot up the game. And do they preload a bunch of the assets so that the actual loading into the file isn't that long or what. I don't know. That would be my guess, because I don't see how you could possibly load that much that fast.
So,
like, even Ratchet and Clank did have some brief. It wasn't really a loading screen, but
no, it was like
it was like a portal effect. It was only like a second long, but it did have that to mask the loading of the assets for the next area.
Yeah, people are diving into trying to figure out how this is possible, but as of yet, they have not. And the most popular theory right now is from a user on Twitter named RealBug Aubrey, saying, quote, either everyone else is not so secretly terrible at their job, or Kojima Production is making deals with spirits and demons. Yeah, I don't know. Nobody is saying anything about it having a long boot up time. So
yeah, okay.
I don't know. It's very weird. Very weird.
You know what the problem with solid state drives is that they don't make any noise. If these were mechanical hard drives, we could hear them spinning up, so we'd know exactly when the loading is happening. But here we can't trust our ears to have any idea what's going on. So it's just
I like that.
Like I said, maybe they're preloading them, but if they're not mentioning a long startup time for the software.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's what they're using all the fucking intro logos for. The unskippable intro logos that so many games have. Maybe they're actually finally doing something with that. I wouldn't mind if that's what they used them for.
Yeah, that's fair.
But who knows? I guess we'll probably find out.
Yeah, I can't wait to play that game. So
I'm sure Digital Foundry will have something to say about that at some point.
Definitely.
Although it's weird, I watched a video they had about it, and that didn't come up. Now, I don't think I watched every single thing, because I did want to avoid the stuff that looked like it was going to have some story stuff in it. So maybe they casually mentioned it there, and I skipped over it. But I don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind of on media blackout on that game, so I get you. I get you. All right. Jurassic World Evolution 3.
I heard about this as well.
Yeah, I was going to put it in the news last week, but I'm kind of just getting tired of this topic. But in this case, there's at least a little bit of a positive note.
Yep.
So Frontier Developments
that logo is terrible. Jurassic World Evolution 3. No. How about you have those 3 claw marks from the Jurassic Park 3 logo instead of just Evolution 3?
Laziness.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. No, it's not a great game either.
What kind of game even is it? Is it like a park builder?
It's a Zoo Tycoon or Zookeeper, but with dinosaurs.
I mean, I like that on the GBA, Jurassic Park Builder, on the Game Boy Advance. That was fun. They kept making those.
What's the Planet? There's Planet Coaster.
Yeah, there's
and
Planet Coaster.
Zoo, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
I think Planet Zoo is the most close equivalent to this.
I've seen people draw pictures with Planet Coaster, which is how crazy that game is.
Yeah, the game's crazy. So Frontier Developments is walking back the use of generative AI in Jurassic World Evolution 3 following backlash from fans. Jurassic World Evolution 3 finally sprouted legs when its official reveal trailer was published as part of Summer Game Fest 2025 earlier this month. Its existence marked the end of a 4-year wait for a third game in the dinosaur strategy simulation franchise, but much of the excitement was quickly soured when fans discovered that Frontier had used controversial generative AI technology to create certain scientists' portraits in-game.
So here's a question related to this. Do you have Front Mission 3 in the news by any chance?
No, why? They have that problem too?
Oh boy, do they ever. I'll get to it in a minute. Well, that'll be an addendum to this, but go on and read.
So that doesn't surprise me because I didn't put it in the Metacritic Check-In, but it has a really bad Metacritic score.
Yep, and that's why.
Okay. So shortly after this realization, fans gathered to campaign against the use of AI in Jurassic World Evolution 3 in hopes that Frontier would reverse its decision in favor of content created by actual human beings. It's a movement that seems to have achieved the desired results, as the team behind the Jurassic Park video game now replied to a popular Steam post to confirm that generative AI portraits will be removed. Quote, thanks for your feedback on this topic. We have opted to remove the use of generative AI for scientist portraits within Jurassic World Evolution 3. Yeah.
So, two thoughts.
Getting praise for that.
And I'll get to front mission in a second. So, the way that they say we will remove generative AI for scientist portraits, that's very specific.
That's what they were called out on.
Yeah, that's what they were called out on. And is that them clarifying the issue and saying, yes, it's done? Or is that them saying we got caught on this?
Or is that them saying there's other generative AI stuff in there?
I hate to shit on them after they've walked back this terrible decision. We should be encouraging them to walk back that terrible decision. But now that I know that they've used generative AI, I'm going to be looking at every asset in that game and thinking,
yeah, a little sketchy.
Yeah. So the front mission thing. So Front Mission 3 is like a PS1 game. So the assets are really low resolution. And you have a few options there. One of the things you could do is you could just redraw them all from scratch, which is time consuming, but it will generally have the best results. You can use purely like AI pure upscaling, which is different from generative AI in that it doesn't try to create anything new. It just tries to figure out the best way to make this low res image higher resolution and look good. There are methods out there that work quite well, and nobody really has a problem with those because they're not like about replacing human artists. They're just about, taking an old low resolution picture and making it higher res. And it's great. Like there's Waifu2X, which is a system primarily designed for illustrations. It works great. It's awesome. There's AstroRes, which is for video, and the AstroRes footage that I've seen out there, like the before and after, looks pretty good. It's great for you remember when they put out Star Trek: The Next Generation on Blu-ray?
Yeah, and all the updates were in it.
Yeah, and they remastered the entire thing in HD because they found all of the original footage, which was shot on film, except for a few little bits and pieces from a few episodes. There were a few scenes, like a few shots, not even entire scenes, just a few shots.
Yeah, I remember watching it going, why was that shot blurry?
Yeah, like 5 seconds here, 10 seconds there.
Yeah.
There's like half a dozen episodes, I think, in the entire series that have a few seconds of upscaled footage. And that's the kind of thing that AstroRes is really good for. It's like, well, we don't want to just take the old footage and blow it up like in Photoshop because that'll look, kind of janky. We can run it through AstroRes. It's not going to look quite as good, but it'll look better than just blowing it up normally. So that's what that's good for. This is not what's happened. So the other thing you can do is you can go into software like Stable Diffusion, and you can do what's called an image-to-image transformation, where you load in an image and you can say, air quotes, upscale this. It's not really upscaling, though. What it's doing is it's generating an entirely new image using your old image as a starting point. And that's the key distinction. Because I've tried that because I thought, oh, wow, you mean I can do this upscaling locally on my computer? That sounds great. And then I tried it and I found, oh, this is totally different from what Waifu2X and AstroRes do. This is terrible. This sucks ass. And that's what they've done. This, by the way, was also the issue, or one of the issues at least, with the GTA trilogy remasters, where the signs in the game had spelling mistakes. That's because they weren't just upscaling the original textures. They were generating new images using the old ones as a reference point. And the AI went, that letter looks kind of like a G, but it's not a G. And so, like, you had a bunch of words that were spelled wrong. That's what's happened here. And you can see it all over the place where they've fed in assets from the PS1 game and then said, generate a new image based on that. And that's problematic in and of itself, both for the technical limitations and also for the ethical concerns. But with how low res those PS1 assets are, it's it's gobbledygook. It's nonsense. I've seen one of the ones I saw that really stuck out to me was a fighter jet, and one of the wings on the fighter jet is like twice as long as the other wing. And it's like, how did that get through?
Yeah, how did that get through?
How did you look at this and say, yeah, that's good enough?
But they didn't have any issues with the Front Vision 1 and 2 remaster.
No, those apparently have problems as well, but they're not as bad as this. I guess there's like some technical issues with those games. But this one, it seems like it's going to have all of those technical issues plus the fucking
generative AI issues.
Yeah, generative AI assets that all look like total garbage. And this isn't even one of those cases of like, oh, they worked on it afterwards, so it's hard to tell, except for that one spot they missed. No, they just slapped it right in. You can tell by looking at it right away. Nobody went over these and said, okay, yeah, these are fine, or no, we need to fix this. They're just straight in because they look fucking terrible.
Well, there you go. Generative AI, not quite the way to go.
Don't use generative AI. Just
not yet anyway.
Just don't use it at all. Just get people to do it. People aren't going to make these kind of mistakes. You know,
unless their budget doesn't allow for it. They're doing this
gonna
because
draw a
of
fighter
AI.
jet that fucking has a double length wing. No human is going to make that mistake. They might not get all the details right if they don't know what a fighter jet looks like, but they're not going to do something so egregiously wrong. But like the fact that nobody either caught that because they weren't looking at it, or somebody was looking at it and said, it's good enough. It's proof that they don't give a shit. They do not give a fuck.
Kind of off topic, but kind of a similar topic. You know the Final Fantasy Tactics remaster?
Yes.
That they're doing? I don't know if we talked about this or not, but so you can play the game in the two different art styles. The modern like remaster art style, which looks pretty good, but a lot of people prefer the pixelated look. Or you can play the pixelated look. The problem is that they also did a bunch of quality of life improvements and like modernization to the game, which people seem to agree that it makes it a lot better. But the problem is those quality of life choices only apply when you're looking at the game with the new art style. So if you want to play with the old art style, you have to play without all of the improvements.
I mean, okay. I will say I can kind of see the logic behind that. If you look at it as not just old art style, but the original experience, all encompassing, I can see the logic behind doing it that way. But they needed to be clearer about that because I had not heard about that, and it was not in any way obvious from the footage we saw.
Or make the option available to play with the old art style, but with the quality of life improvements. It's not like the art style can change, the outcome.
Give people as many options as is necessary.
A little weird.
And I don't think it would be that hard. Like, obviously, it wouldn't be zero work to implement.
No.
But like we've seen games that can do that on the fly art style switching, like Halo Anniversary Edition, Full Throttle, Monkey Island Remastered. This is not an uncommon.
We have the technology.
Yeah, we have the technology. So
thought I'd bring that up. Wasn't in an article or anything like that.
So just speaking to my preference for that, my preference is. If you're gonna do that, you're gonna have original experience mode. I would say when the game boots up, have like a launcher that says, play
modern mode and classic mode.
And there are games that do that. Like the current version of the classic Doom games lets you play Doom in DOSBox if you really want to play the DOS version of it. I wouldn't want to. Not anymore. God, no. Rendering that shit at 320 by 240 with only Sound Blaster support? No, thank you, sir.
Sound Blaster. Wow.
No, I will take my mouse aim and my Sound Canvas 55 emulation. Thank you very much.
Sound Blaster. Wow. You just blew my mind.
Yeah.
Haven't heard that term in so long. Sound cards. Wow.
Yep. That used to be a thing.
All right. So before Mind's
Oh
Eye.
God, here we go again.
Yeah, not doing well.
No,
not doing well at all. In fact, Builder Rocket Boy has told staff that a redundancy process has begun. Amid the disastrous launch of
Let me
Mind's
ask:
Eye.
Is anybody at the upper echelon of that company going to be declared redundant?
Oh, probably not.
Probably not.
The cuts could affect over 100 employees, studio sources have told IGN.
Jesus Christ.
And Builder Rocket Boy has confirmed IGN's report that the redundancy process has begun at the studio, issuing
How many
a
people
statement.
do they even have there?
Can't be that much more than 100.
Jesus. How the fuck are they going to fix this game then?
I don't think they're going to.
Oh, no. Oh, dear.
That would be my guess.
I guess this boy's not going to build any more rockets.
No, I think that rocket's in trouble. I think the boy's in trouble.
Well,
but
that's what happens when you subcontract your rockets to Elon Musk.
They blow up on the launch pad.
Yep.
That was quite the explosion, eh?
It was quite the explosion.
I was watching it and I was like,
it would be pretty awesome.
Oh, it's still going.
It would be pretty awesome if it also wasn't kind of horrifying. I really hope nobody was anywhere near that.
No,
that was a really big boom.
Yeah, it was huge. Yeah. Builder Rocket Boy issued a statement. We can confirm that we have had to make the painful decision to notify our hardworking team of some internal changes at Builder Rocket Boy. While we are working to reassign roles for as many as... I was doing so well.
Yeah.
Especially on that last article. I was just like banging it out, man.
Yep.
While we are working to reassign roles for as many of those impacted by these changes as possible, sadly, we are initiating a formal consultation process that may result in redundancies. It's basically a fancy way of saying we're letting people go.
Yep.
This decision has not been made lightly, and we are committed to handling this process with transparency, fairness, and respect for all employees. We will provide further details to the team over the coming weeks. The launch of Mind's Eye has been a significant milestone for Builder Rocket Boy, but we know that we still have a lot more to do to grow our community in the coming years. The challenges we faced have only strengthened our resolve, and while we are deeply saddened by today's decision and thankful to our incredible team, this shift allows us to focus on delivering ongoing updates and performance optimization for Mind's Eye.
How does it help to fire people?
Yeah, while also ensuring the long-term success of Builder Rocket Boy's future ambitions. Yeah, I don't think that company's
bullshit. Complete bullshit.
Very well. Yeah, I think they're in trouble. But we wish those affected all the best. All right. Dying Light, the original, is getting an update, and it's not insubstantial? Unsubstantial? What's the word? Unsubstantial?
I think both of those are real words.
It's a big update.
I'm not a dictionary, so say whatever you want.
Okay. Dick. Techland is taking players back to Haran after 10 years with a surprise free content release for the original Dying Light that it's calling the Retouched update. Already out now, the thousands of players who haven't been able to let go of the 2015 zombie parkour hit will be treated to improvements that should improve the experience across the board. Retouched includes visual enhancements, a remastered soundtrack, and more for players across PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S.
Yeah, I was about to ask, is this game available on current generation systems? Because that sounds like the prelude to a remastered release, but I guess they're just issuing it for free?
Yep.
That's cool of them.
It's free. Very cool. Yeah. So some of the visual enhancement players can expect include improved textures, lighting, and shadows. You might notice a wooden fence has more detail, or that certain metal surfaces will reflect light more realistically. Techland is especially proud of how some floors and cement walls look in Dying Light Retouched, sharing images of stone paths that feature more depth than ever before. There are some pretty cool before and after shots.
Yeah.
In the audio department, original Dying Light composer Paul Blazacek?
I'm going to say it's probably Pavel. I wouldn't know if that last one is right.
Blazacek.
But it sounds like a Slavic name to me.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're a European studio.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Return to remaster the soundtrack. The entire soundtrack has been re-recorded on tape for retouched with new tracks, ambient sounds, and even hit reaction audio also remastered for this week's update.
Cool. That sounds like what they did with the Command and Conquer remaster. Got the original composer back to do all that, and it sounds great. Sounds awesome.
Yeah, Dying Light 1 is just a fantastic game. Dying Light 2 is probably underrated. I really, really enjoyed that game. The Beast is coming out August 22nd this year. So, I'm sure this is just more to get the hype train going.
Yeah, promotion.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea for promoting your game. Give a free update, free sort of next gen update to your game. Yeah.
10 years later.
Yeah.
So it's an older game. Yeah, I'm looking at some of these screenshots here. Let me see if I can pull this up, actually. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wow. It's like there's been I guess there has been an entire extra detail pass on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now everything looks like much more weathered and not like it was just installed like a year ago.
That one looks pretty. That one looks pretty.
That one looks similar, but you can see the new like metal reflectivity on it.
Yeah.
Where it's just kind of matte on the other one.
Yep. Yeah. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, that's super cool of them. Well done, guys.
Yeah, they're. I like that studio. They're great. So go play Dying Light 1 and 2, man. They're really, really good. Let's give more praise. Dune Awakening has sold 1 million copies.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Yep, making it Funcom's fastest-selling game ever. So congratulations to Funcom and the Dune Awakening team. It's doing really well.
Aren't they the Anarchy Online guys? That name sounds familiar. Funcom.
No, they're the Conan Exile guys.
Oh, the okay. Yeah.
Oh no, they did Anarchy Online as well. You're right.
Oh, okay.
and Age of Conan, Metal Hellslinger, Mutant Year Zero. Yeah, there you go. Good call. Yeah, I've watched a lot of footage of the game, and I don't think it's going to be for me. The combat looks really weak. I think it's going to need a few years of patches and improvements and tweaks to get that combat better. It looks pretty weak, but the rest of the game looks fantastic. So if they can nail down that combat, I think it'll do really well in the long run.
It's really weird to see foliage of any kind on Arrakis.
Yeah,
because that's one. I mean, I guess they had to do something so it's not just like, it is
an alternative universe of Arrakis. So
yeah, it's just that the whole thing that they spend like so much of that story drilling into you is that there's nothing on Arrakis but desert. It's just desert.
Yep. I gotta watch Dune 1 and 2. I haven't seen them.
You know what you should do?
What?
You should watch the David Lynch version from the 80s.
I could.
That one's fun. It's got Patrick Stewart in it.
Gotta love Patrick.
It's got
younger Patrick.
Well, it's a younger Patrick Stewart, but he sure doesn't look any younger. That dude has looked like that for at least the last 40 years.
It's so funny how some people just look old.
Yeah.
But they also don't age very much either.
No.
They're kind of they got old earlier and just stayed there, and as they got older,
he's like 87 now or something. He barely looks any different than he did when he was 47.
Yeah.
It's also got oh fuck, what's the actor who played Dale Cooper in Twin Peaks?
Never watched Twin Peaks.
Oh well, he's Paul in the David Lynch version. That's probably how David Lynch met him.
There you go.
Probably why I got cast in Twin Peaks.
All right, and then we have two news stories from Capcom. So Capcom held a showcase spotlight. It was not anything of any super consequence.
That's unfortunate.
There was a couple of updates, but it honestly could have just been a couple of press releases. It didn't need to be a showcase.
Was anybody here, like, is anybody here getting a new game? Like, are we getting a new Mega Man game or anything like that?
No, they didn't advertise it as like a debut of anything. It was basically just an update on 4 games. So it was an update for
Monster Hunter
Wilds, Resident Evil 9, Pragmata, and Street Fighter 6.
Was there anything interesting like about Pragmata in there? Or what?
Yeah, so that was the most interesting chunk, and it was only like 4.5 minutes. Like it wasn't like a big presentation. Yeah. But they showed off gameplay, and it's strange. So
it's a strange looking game. So that's I like the sound of that.
So it takes place on the moon at a lunar research station that they get stranded. That your character Hugh gets stranded on, and then meets this.
Wait. Are you telling me that the human character is named Hugh?
Hugh Williams.
Hugh Man?
Oh no. That sounds like very Japanese writing to me. And there's only AI robots walking around the station, and
of course,
it's all about figuring out what happened at the station. And you meet Diana, who is the
little robot girl.
Little robot girl. And the combat is basic. It's so weird. So it's part puzzler, part third-person shooter.
Yeah, she does like a hacking thing on them.
Yeah, so before you can shoot them, she has to hack them. So while you're avoiding getting shot at, this little like grid pops up, and it's basically like one of those like connect the pipes type mini games.
Like in BioShock.
Where you got to get the fluid from one end to a certain spot on the grid. And when you do that, then that hacks them, and their armor kind of like flips open and exposes all their weak points, and then you can start shooting them.
Did you ever end up playing Nier Automata?
I played like the first hour.
Okay, but do you know how the hacking minigame in that one goes?
No, I don't think
it's basically Smash TV. It's like a twin stick shooter.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I really want to like that game. I think I'm getting much more accepting of the fact that certain games I've just missed. You know what I'm saying? Like Witcher 3.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah.
Mass Effect trilogy.
Oh, that's so sad. Two of my friends right now are going through Mass Effect Legendary Edition at the same time. It's very weird.
Oh wow.
They don't even know each other, and then they're both going through it at the same time. It's very cool to hear their comments about it. It's really cool.
I'll get to it one day.
I hope so. It's amazing. But yeah, I think Nier Automata is going in that pile. Unfortunately, I want to so bad though. Just like I want to play Cyberpunk so bad, but I know that it's just not in the cards. I don't think. Maybe one day when there's a drought, but that ain't anytime soon.
Yeah, no kidding.
So yeah, they showed off that gameplay. It's sort of a action adventure third person shooter. I don't know. They're calling it a new IP. So it feels like they see something in this thing. I'm a little hesitant.
Well, I mean,
that being said, though,
it is a new intellectual property. That doesn't mean it's going to become a whole franchise.
No,
I'm sure, but I'm like, obviously they want it to be like they want everything to be a successful franchise that they can make a dozen games out of. Because
but they didn't.
That's
they
the
didn't,
money.
They never verbally called like Kinitsugami a new IP, or what was that other one they recently made? Oh shoot, I should know this. They've done 2 new IPs in the last like 3 years. 3 new IPs if you count Pragmata.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one you're talking about.
Capcom recent games. Let's see. Kinitsugami. Shit, what the hell was the other game? That's gonna bug me. Well, that's something for corrections next week. I know there's another one. Damn. Okay. Well, whatever. There's another game. So this is like their 3rd new IP in like 5 years. But I don't know. I see that game and I'm like, I don't know. That being said, though, Capcom's got a great track record going right now, so it's hard to bet against them. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt for now. They haven't had a
Yeah.
miss in a while.
Yeah, I think the last time that like Capcom totally just screwed the pooch on something was probably Dead Phoenix, where that game just never came out. They were you remember the Capcom 4, the Capcom 5 or whatever it was?
Yeah,
It was Resident Evil Killer 7, product number 3, and
well, hold on. They never released Deep Down.
oh, okay.
That's probably their most recent flub because that never came out. Or Street Fighter V. That didn't go over very well.
Yeah, but that came out.
People
it played it.
Yeah. Yeah, Deep
and
Down's
then,
probably
and
the
then I still have my personal grudge for Mega Man Legends 3, but we're not going to get into that because I.
What about Mega Man Universe? That got canceled too.
Oh yeah, that did.
Yeah, assholes,
didn't it?
Like, where's Mega Man? He's literally right there.
He's right there. But when was the last time he had a new game?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was Mega Man 11, or was it 12?
11. It's been a while since 11.
But like that was a Switch game, so it hasn't been like a million years. But like that was it. And there was like a mobile phone
2018.
game. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and in other Capcom news, they've announced the cast of the new Street Fighter movie.
Yeah, I saw this. It's like half wrestlers, and then there's also 50 Cent in there. It's like, I don't... Can we just stop trying to make live-action Street Fighter movies? Well, how about you just make another animated one? Those animated movies are so fucking good.
The second that I knew that Legendary Entertainment was the one that was adapting it, I was like, okay, this is not going to be good. But we got... I
will say, sorry to interrupt, Assassin's Fist is apparently fine. That's like a live-action short TV series that they did.
Who? Capcom?
Yeah, of Street Fighter. It's like
okay.
It's like Ryu and Ken as they're learning the like Hadouken and stuff.
Hadouken. All right. Yeah, Jason Momoa plays Blanca.
Weird.
Noah Centino as Ken. Orville
Peck sound like a very Japanese or American name.
No.
And Ken is half Japanese, half American. So.
Orville Peck is Vega. Roman Reigns from the WWE
is Akuma.
Akuma. And Andrew Koji is Ryu.
Yeah, so like okay, there's at least that sounds like he might be Japanese.
Kalina Lang is Chun-Li. 50 Cent will be Balrog.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't have high hopes for that movie.
Yeah, unless they can reanimate Raul Julia's corpse to play M. Bison.
Oh, good lord.
I mean,
did you ever see the new Mortal Kombat movie?
No, I haven't seen that. I kind of wanted to because it sounded like it was all right.
So, as long as you don't take it seriously and you just have a good laugh.
Well, yeah, it's Mortal Kombat.
It is so funny. It's got good action too, but it's so funny. It's good.
I mean, that's what the original Mortal Kombat
comedy.
Movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely cheese, but it's cheese on purpose. But it takes itself kind of seriously in a funny way. And boy, is there a lot of swearing.
Yeah, I mean,
holy shit,
that's what Mortal Kombat is. It's a satire of like
violent
like martial arts exploitation movies.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Yeah, it's good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of want to watch it again every so often, but I've only seen it the one time. I have such fond memory of watching it for the first time because I was laughing my ass off, and I rarely laugh at movies. They take something special or something really bad to the point where it's good, to make me laugh. So yeah,
Isn't it funny that like if you think back, the original Mortal Kombat movie is how Paul W.S. Anderson got to bang Mila Jovovich because he kind of. It's like, oh, you made that one successful video game movie. Here, make this other one. Yeah. And that's where he met her. It's on the set of that movie.
And then the second movie sucked. And the third one was way bad.
Whoa, I liked the third Resident Evil movie.
No. Mortal Kombat.
Oh, Mortal Kombat. Oh, yeah.
First one holds up as
No
as a
doubt.
cheesy flick, but the other ones were absolutely terrible.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on. We're running long here.
They got the guy who played Shang Tsung in that to come back and voice him in Mortal Kombat 11, and he was
really
he was really good.
Wow, that's cool.
He was so good in that game.
All right, our final news. As always, we wait to announce the game catalog and Game Pass updates. I don't have the Game Pass updates because we did that last week, but we do have the PlayStation Plus monthly games for July 2025, which release next Tuesday, as of this recording. They are as follows. King of Fighters 15. I can't believe there's 15 of those games. That's crazy. King of Fighters 15 for PS5
when you
and PS4.
consider how many versions of Street Fighter games there are, there's probably 15 of those.
That's definitely fair.
And they were doing a new King of Fighters game every year for a little while because they were like, oh, we want to have our yearly update thing like Capcom does. So we'll just call it King of Fighters 2002, 2003, 2004. That proved to be unsustainable, I suspect, because they stopped doing it. But
Definitely.
they were doing that for a little while.
That's a lot. Jusant for PS5. That's the climbing game that I keep talking about. So I will be replaying that because I played that on Xbox. So I will be playing that on PS5 because that was a good game. I really enjoyed that game. And surprisingly, Diablo 4 for PS5 and PS4. So me and my buddy might replay that game. I don't know.
I thought you hated that game. You always bitch about it.
It's fun. The campaign is fun. But the problem is once you're done the campaign, or if you just skip the campaign, once you've beaten the game, if you create another character, you can skip the campaign and just play right straight. Like Diablo 3 you could.
Oh, so there's like nothing to do after that?
No, there's lots to do, but it all feels like free-to-play filler. You know what I'm saying? Where it just, none of it feels fun. It's just
Diablo 3 actually had, I mean, this was added in a later patch. It wasn't like day and date with the game's original release, but there was like an entire new area. I mean, not a huge new area.
But it was like a whole content update.
Yeah, you go to that island and it's like, ooh, the ship disappeared. What's going on? There's some like human sacrifice shit. It's like a whole creepy thing that has nothing to do with the demons.
Yeah. Yeah. And it sucks because the updates in Diablo 4 are seasonal. So they always have new missions and stuff and new bosses to fight, but they're seasonal. So it only lasts for the season. So it's designed to keep you playing. And I'm like, no.
I hate that shit.
Yeah. I'm like, no. If it's not permanent content, then fuck off.
Yeah.
You know. So I have a lot of hate.
If they added it seasonally and then let you go back and play previous seasons, that'd be sick.
Yeah. The problem is that they typically with each season they add a mechanic. So they don't want to keep every mechanic permanent, otherwise it would break the game. Because they added like a pet one time and a mercenary one time, and like so like.
Oh, you mean things that Diablo has already had in the past? Oh, that's coming as seasonal content. Oh god,
you're making me really not want to play it again.
that's kind of the objective here.
Yeah,
play something new instead of something that you already hate.
Yeah, well, we're trying to decide whether we're going to play Diablo 4, Raven's Watch, or Forever Skies. That's kind of our three. The problem is that Diablo 4 is free, whereas the other two we have to pay for. So it's like, it's like when something comes up free, it's kind of hard.
Getting what you pay for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. I'll keep you all updated on what happens there. Oh, I did get new games from the library.
Oh.
So I took back. So I gave up on Switch Sports. I have nothing good to say about that game. It's just it doesn't leave a good taste in my mouth. You know, it's just they shouldn't have been released. They should have just like remastered Wii Sports and gave you the Wiimotes to play it or something. Like it just doesn't feel good to play. So I didn't like it. I took back Life is Strange because I beat that. We talked about that earlier. I'm still playing through Pikmin 4. I thought I was going to fall off that train because of how annoyed I was getting last week with all the tutorial and pop-ups and stop and go. But it's slowly doing less of the stop and go. It still does a lot of stop and go. And I forgot how much loading screens were a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
You know, because like I've been playing mainly on PS5 and an Xbox Series that have like almost no load screens or very, very short load screens. And Pikmin 4's load screens are pretty frequent and they're like 30 seconds long. So I'm like,
yeah,
I gotta wait. Okay. And then like just to end the day and then start the next day is like 2 or 3 minutes of.
That's not okay.
It's not loading screens, but it is loading. You can tell it's a loading screen, but it's like these repeated cinematics of you getting into the ship and blasting off. And I'm just like, and you can skip them, but you can only skip them one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
There's no button to just be like, okay, just let me go fucking play. So, but I'm still sticking in there because the gameplay keeps evolving. It keeps getting more interesting, and it's cute and it's fun. But I will say, I have figured out what the best Pikmin game is.
Oh, and what is that?
Tinykin. You heard about that game?
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. Yes, I played that about a year ago, I want to say, and I loved it. And the more I play of this, the more I'm like, Tinykin was better. Sorry, Pikmin. You know, like, I don't know what it is, but like I'm enjoying my time with Pikmin. Don't get me wrong. I just enjoyed Tinykin 10 times more.
Yeah.
So go play that game, guys. But yeah, Diablo 4, King of Fighters 15, and Jusant. Play Jusant, guys. Play Jusant. It's a cool game. Very cool game. And that is it for the news, which means it's time for.
Now it's me. Now you've contaminated my brain with it.
I like it. All right, here we go.
I tried to introduce my nieces to Scatman.
I'm a scat man.
Yeah. It got a mixed reception. They were like, oh, cool. And then went back to what they were doing. So I was like, oh.
Hopefully I'm not going to get copyrighted for singing that song.
No, look, it was a noble effort, but there's no way they're going to mistake that for the real thing. He goes way faster than that.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yep.
All right, so yeah, R.I.P. We've downgraded from trees to dirt, apparently.
Yeah.
I see some UI in the bottom corner, though.
Oh, great. Very helpful.
It's a dot and a bracket.
It's a crosshair.
It could be a crosshair, you're right, yeah. If I hadn't zoomed in, we wouldn't have seen the dot.
No.
Look at that.
Yeah. There's like a little bit cut off that they're not showing us.
Yeah, looks like a booby. Blur it out! Blur it out! I don't know what it is. I have no clue.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Let's just say Halo 2 for the fucking shit of it.
Sure.
No. 69%.
Nice.
What is it, though? Could this be Dead Island? The first one?
Okay, sure. Why not? Maybe.
I mean, it's Paradise thing. No.
Nope.
Oh, PS4, PC. Oh, we got a dude. Oh. No.
Just Cause, maybe? Like
PS4,
one of the Just Cause games? Like maybe Just Cause 3 or something?
I think it might be the newest one with the weather. Nope. Oh, it's Mad Max.
Oh. Okay.
Play that game.
Really?
Play that game. It is good.
I heard it wasn't that great.
They're nuts.
Oh,
that game is fantastic. Well, actually, you know what? I'm not recommending it to Andrew because it has combat very similar to Batman Arkham. So, but I actually think it's better than Batman Arkham's combat because it is punchy. You feel every punch and hit. It does this thing where it like does like a slow-mo when you make contact.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I've played that game from start to finish like 3 or 4 times. It's great. That's a great game.
I still need to see Furiosa.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. I got to see that game or that movie too.
And Fury Road was so fucking good.
Yeah.
Like that was one of those cases where every single person in the world says this is the best fucking movie ever. I was like, fine, I'll go see it. Then I saw it and I was like, this is the best fucking movie ever. I get it now.
You know what's funny about you saying Just Cause?
Yeah.
is that they're the ones who made this game, Avalanche.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why it made me think of it. Maybe something about the art just kind of. That does not look.
It's not a tie-in to the movie. It's its own thing.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Look at the punching, like boom,
yeah,
boom, boom.
I was gonna say that doesn't look like him at all.
no, yeah, no, it's its own thing. Oh man, that combat's so good, and it's contextual. So like, if you punch him and you get him up against a wall, the animation will change, and you'll like pin him up against the wall and start punching him in the gut. And then there's like weapons and like it's got great combat, really, really great combat. Remaster that game, guys. It's great. Like, I'd probably give that game a 9, man. I don't know what people are talking about. They're crazy. All right, what do we got?
High praise.
Very high praise. Oh, that's a Guilty Gear game or a Darkstalkers game if I've ever seen one. Which one do we go with?
I don't know. Let's go with Guilty Gear. You're gonna have to trust me on this. Exard, spelled exactly the way it sounds. XRD. Yeah, Revelator.
Which one?
Let's just go with Revelator.
Oh, it's not Guilty Gear.
No!
Is it Darkstalkers then?
We were deceived. I don't think Darkstalkers looks that good. I don't think there's been a Darkstalkers game that looks that good.
Is Marvel vs. Capcom maybe?
Maybe. Marvel vs. Capcom 2?
Yeah.
Oh, good call!
Yeah. I know that art style is very specific, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
That must be the HD version that has the 3D backgrounds.
Yeah. Ooh.
This kind of looks like like Rage.
No. Oh shit. What was this game called? It's the one with the Monkey Man. Enslaved.
Oh, Enslaved Odyssey to the West. Wow, nice call.
Yeah. That's such a good game. That's another one that needs a good remaster or remake. Just out on an island alone over on the old PS3 and 360. That's really the only way to play it is by 360 backwards compatibility, assuming it's even backwards compatible with the current consoles.
Yeah, that's from that era where not everything was getting a PC port, and even the stuff that did, it wasn't guaranteed if it was going to be any good.
Yeah, play that game, people. Man, there's some good picks.
Yeah,
good picks this time.
That's a weird looking thing.
Yeah, what is this?
It looks like two hang gliders crashed into each other.
It looks like a volcano type area, but there's like a skull face in the background.
Maybe, but I don't know if that's like lava. That point of light there, that might just be like an item that's glowing or something,
or a torch.
Yeah,
I don't know what this is on the side either. Want
to go to the next one and see?
Ooh, 89. Oh, ooh, I know that UI.
I don't know that UI.
Oh, I know that UI. I'm gonna know this. There's no way. That looks very, very familiar. Oh. No, it's not that. Okay. Oh, is this Zelda?
Oh, is it the Age of Calamity?
No?
No.
What is that?
Monster
Hunter.
Xenoblade, one of the Xenoblade games. Whatever the most recent one is. 3?
Nice.
Boom. Now I know that UI.
Yeah. I don't like those games. I've tried 2 of them, and I get like an hour and a half in, and I'm like, nah, it's not my bag. And I should know that because JRPGs just, they're not hitting me anymore. Except for Metaphor, apparently, which I still need to get to. Ooh. Wow. Crosshair?
Yeah. And those are boats. They're little speed boats.
My guess is that you're in a helicopter, and that crosshair is like the
Probably. So what's a game where you're in a helicopter?
Could this be like the original Just Cause?
Did it look that good?
I mean, it was for PS2.
Yeah, I think it was for PS2, so probably not. Maybe that's Just Cause 2.
Let's go with Just Cause 2. Oh, it is Just Cause, though.
All right, Just Cause 3. Hey! I never played that. I should.
I've only played...
Actually, I have it in my Steam library. I think I picked it up cheap. I might have even bought it while we were recording the show one time, because that's also how I bought Control. It was during an episode of the show.
Yeah, you did. I've played, I think, 3 of them. No, I haven't beat any of them, though. I end up playing it for like 2 or 3 hours, and I'm like, wee, I'm exploding things.
Yeah, I got, in Just Cause 2, I got out of like the tutorial missions, and I think I just fucked around for like the next 30 hours. Because that's all I needed out of it. I didn't care about the story. I didn't give a shit about Rico Rodriguez, the most Latin American stereotypical name ever. Like, the thing is I just want to blow shit up.
Some of the missions are really good, but getting from one good mission to the next good mission is full of filler crap that is just like boring as hell. So
yeah, it's way more fun to just destroy everything.
Yep. Whoa.
I don't know what this is. Looks very artsy.
Yeah. No, I'm not getting anything. I'm getting vibes, but I'm not getting like... Yeah. Ooh. Nope. 64%. That's a game score that I would stay away from typically. So that's not good. You getting anything?
No.
360 PS3.
So here's the thing. I would say Deadly Premonition, but this looks cell shaded, and Deadly Premonition is not cell shaded.
I mean,
Deadly Premonition doesn't really look this good.
No.
What?
That's the difference between the screenshots? Okay, guys, you fucked up there a little bit, I think. Action hack and slash.
Oh, Shin Megami Tensei 4, maybe?
Really?
Maybe. It probably would have had a higher score, but who knows?
Not Persona 4.
Not Persona 4. For Apocalypse.
Oh, For Apocalypse. No.
Oh, not even the same franchise. Shit.
Is this No More Heroes?
Didn't No More Heroes get a better score than that? Also, No More Heroes is on the Wii. They didn't list the Wii, did it?
Oh, yeah.
PS3 360.
Yeah, I have no idea what this is.
I don't know either. Is it another Suda51 game?
I know, that's what I was thinking, but I can't remember any. Oh.
Is it like Killer is Dead or something?
Skull. Let's see what the last thing is, because I Grasshopper.
Yeah. Okay. So it's definitely a Suda50.
It's a Suda game.
Oh shit! What is that called? Is it Killer is Dead or
maybe?
Well, hold on. Shadows of the Damned.
Oh, that's the one I was thinking of. No, I don't think that's this one though.
Let's just see if it's in there. It's gotta be. It's gotta be because it's got the guy with the gun.
It's Killer is Dead.
Oh, it's Killer is Dead.
That's what I said. I know. Because I was picturing Shadows of the Dead in my head, and I'm like, this doesn't remember. I don't remember this. So, yeah. We had that. It
was right in our grasp, but we let it slip out. Well, that looks like fucking No Man's Sky at launch.
I think this might be Viewfinder.
Wow. Nice. You're cleaning up today.
Yeah, man. That game's trippy. Let's see if it shows. Have you seen this game before?
I don't think so.
Hopefully it shows the mechanic that this game uses. Watch this shit. It's fucking crazy. Please show it. If it doesn't show it.
Is this like a Portal thing?
Kind of. Come on. Oh, come on. You can't have footage of this game and not show the freaking.
Is it like you paste of the section of level you photograph into the space?
Yeah.
I haven't seen this game do that, but I think I saw the people who made this game. They had an Unreal, or not an Unreal, a Unity engine demo showing that off a few years, like I want to say like 8 years ago.
Yeah, it's trippy as hell.
Yeah,
I played the demo and I was
like, I think that was the same people who turned it into a full game.
All right, let's do a couple more here. Oh, jeez. No idea.
I don't know. Fucking Red Dead Redemption?
No, it looks better than that.
It does look better than that.
Yeah. That looks pretty good, though.
Yeah?
No idea, though.
No idea. Oh, could it be one of the Lord of the Rings games? I'm just thinking we had a little fence. We have a mountain. Like, you know, maybe. I wouldn't know which one, though.
I don't think those environments are that varied. I don't remember any snow levels in Shadow of Mordor or Shadow of War. Pretty sure.
Type in Lord of the Rings and see what the options are.
Oh God, there's gonna be like 100 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not Battle for Middle Earth because that's like a.
This looks too good to be it. Like, I wouldn't say there's any games besides.
What about War in the North? What is that one?
No idea. Probably an older one.
Let's try it.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
PC, PS1, Xbox One. Well, that looks very iconic or like specific.
Yeah.
I feel like I should know this, but I don't.
I would say it almost looks like maybe something out of Halo 5, but it obviously isn't if it's PS4 and PC because Halo 5 isn't on PC.
I didn't beat Atlas Fallen, but it could be Atlas Fallen. But I'm pretty sure it came out like natively on PS5 and Series though. But
give it a try.
Well, it's not even in there. Wow, that's surprising. Huh. Okay.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I feel like if I don't recognize it from that, I'm not ever going to recognize it.
A first-person shooter MMO. There's not many of those.
Then I'm...
it could be the new Eve game. Oh, no, wait. This is from 2022.
Yeah, I don't know.
No. Wow. Oh, is this Fallout 76?
That...
doesn't look like it.
I mean, that gun and that... Like, if it was Fallout 76, that gun doesn't match.
No. I mean, I'll put it anyway just because we don't have a better guess.
Sure.
No. Oh, it's Destiny 2?
Yeah. Why did it take us this long?
Because that game has like got no identity whatsoever. It looks like every generic free-to-play
I mean, I did say that it looked kind of like Halo.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's obviously got some identity, but...
Yeah. They just stole it from somewhere else. I have no idea.
I mean, it's their... Halo was their game. Well, yeah, I guess Halo 5 wasn't their game, so...
This might be Spiritfarer. Nope.
Nope.
Oh, it's Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing, yeah.
Got to be the new one, right?
Yeah.
Horizons. Yeah.
The triangle grass. Well, this looks like what we were just looking at. Is this The Witcher 3? There's just a tiny spot of UI there. No, that's something in the world. I don't know what that is.
This might be Halo Infinite. Ironically.
Okay, try it.
I feel like we may have had that already, though.
Yeah.
On this game. No. 93, though.
It's not Halo Infinite, then.
It could be Witcher 3.
Yeah, go ahead. Witcher 3. Do it.
Yep.
I was right.
Nice job. All right, we'll do this one.
Fucking, what's that game called?
Fez? No,
Fez doesn't look this good.
I don't know what this is.
Bong.
Yeah, Dante's misbehaving.
God damn.
I'm gonna skip it because I need more.
Oh, it's Gree. It's Gree.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out what that name was, because I kept thinking Neva, and I'm like, Neva came out just like this year, so
yeah,
it's not Neva.
I was thinking it was Gree for a second, but I was like, no, that's too colorful to be Gree. But then, oh no, that's Gree. That's 100% Gree.
I want to do another one. No idea.
There's like a building there, but I cannot.
It looks like a castle.
A castle, or maybe something that's been blown up. I guess it's a castle. I don't know. Okay, that's not bad.
That's a good score.
I mean, from this, I would almost say like Skyrim, but Skyrim doesn't look this detailed.
No. Is this not Dark Souls?
It might be Dark Souls 2. That's the one I haven't played.
No.
No.
Oh, it's Devil's Demon Souls. What? PS5 has like no exclusives. What is this? What the fuck? Oh, okay, hold on. Let me reevaluate here. There's like a woman in the background.
Yeah, I'm of no help here.
I mean, I guess it could be Returnal, but I don't think so.
I mean, why not? Give it a shot.
Those colors don't. Wow, okay.
Okay.
None of this gave me Returnal vibes. Like, I have no clue what this image is even from. Oh yeah, let's see if it... No, it's right, it's too old. Doesn't show us. Weird. Okay. Let's do another one. Is this Undertale?
No, there's 3D aspects to this. Undertale doesn't have any 3D. But it does look like something that's going for like an old school look, but I can't identify it by this.
Oh, it's old. Oh, it's Super Mario RPG. I don't remember that first image, though.
What was that first image? Go back to it.
Oh, I know what it is. It's at the beginning of the game where they're fighting on the
raising her up on the chandelier.
Yeah.
That's such an indistinct thing without the context.
That's so funny.
I love this game. This is one of my favorite games of all time. Have you played the remake yet?
Yeah, played and beat it.
You did. Okay.
Yeah.
God, it's such a good fucking game.
Yeah, want to buy a sequel. All right, I think that's enough. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Press Pause Gaming Podcast. Oh, man.
Did that dinner go long or something?
Hold on. Here's the thing. I've done 3 wrestling renaissances this week, so it's my brain's... my podcast brain has expired. Okay, I need a break, which I'm not going to get because I have wrestling. Not an episode tomorrow, but I have to record notes from a wrestling event tomorrow.
Oh no!
While I'm watching it, so okay. This has been Press Pause Gaming Podcast. I think episode 51. If you want to follow me on the socials, I am at TJ-Leo on BlueSky.
And I am at Ninjas on BlueSky.
If you want to follow, if you want to email us. The train is...
We're almost there. We're almost across the finish line. You can do it. I'll pick you up and throw you over my shoulders and carry you over that line.
Sam, get me to the volcano. No. Email us at co.op.podcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. Join the Co-op Club Discord community server. Did I get everything?
I thought your brain was going to explode.
Yeah, just had a minor aneurysm. It's okay. I'm okay. Until next week, get back to gaming.
And get some sleep.